All right, everyone. Yes, that is my voice. We are actually going to start the stream. It is a miracle. All right, so here we go with just me and Kurt tonight. Mac is taking his turn at being sick. So yeah, really, what the fuck took so long? You know, I've got questions, but I will tell you this: that man over there has brought many of himself to make up for it. Oh wow, dude, that is distracting as hell.
I'm
Yeah, his audio is good now. Yeah, no, that was good times right there.
Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
yeah.
Can you hear me?
You know, I will tell you, audience. One of the things that I find really interesting here is that when he came back from the brownout and everything else, his mic sounds better this week than the last couple. Like the brownouts fixed his mic for us.
I beat the shit out of my audio stack, so I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Right?
Actually, I beat the shit out of my workstation in general, so weird things tend to happen, and I really need to open that thing up and clean out the water block, but I don't want to do that until I can replace the CPU. So if you can buy me an 18-core i9, I appreciate you, and
Yeah.
you'll
Right?
you'll save me a lot of problems.
You know, something like that needs to be one of the bits things. Like, you know, where people spend their channel points. If you spend 5 million channel points, Kurt gets a new CPU.
Oh,
Man, there is a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week. You know, the one thing that I do want to open with, though?
what?
The one thing I want to open with is good old Gina Carano there, the co-star of The Mandalorian. I'm sure everyone knows at this point her getting canceled. Yeah, spell her name with a Q, of course. But the thing that a lot of people probably still don't know yet is that, she got picked up by Ben Shapiro. She has left Disney for Ben Shapiro.
The
So
ultimate downgrade.
So now the Daily Wire is going to make a new movie with her. Like, his news organization is making a movie with her now. Like, wow, what a fall.
Oh God, I can't even laugh
Ben
at that.
Shapiro. Like, what? I don't even understand. Like, that is just, I mean, the magnitude of the difference.
I saw Ben Shapiro trending on Twitter. I'm like,
Why?
all right, why? What again? What did the little man do? What did he do this time? And then the context is just
Yeah. I mean, oh my God. Ben
Okay,
Shapiro.
okay. Yeah, conservatives are not like Jews during the Holocaust.
No,
They're
no,
not.
no, no. You shouldn't say that stuff. She might have made some mistakes. I mean, she made a lot of other mistakes too. Like, that's just one of like 100.
Woo!
Yeah, so the downfall from Disney to Ben Shapiro level pay. I wonder what the pay cut was. Was it 17,000%? 20,000%? Like, wow. Oh, what the fuck is with Ben? He's what we refer to as a grifter. That's he has found an audience that will pay him money and make him popular among that audience, and he is doing whatever it takes to keep that audience. I don't actually believe that he believes half the shit he says. Like, I really do think he is a grifter.
Absolutely. Most of these right-wing personalities are complete and utter grifters, and there's no way you can change my mind on that. You can just take a look at the way all of them operate, and it's pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah.
They see a talking point, they see a hot button talking point, and they jump on it like stink on shit.
Yep. Ugh. So now I'm thirsty. Not for that, of course, but
You know, if I actually spend time with you in real life, I am you are going to drink a beer.
never gonna happen. You have no idea the offers I have been made. In a period of time when I hadn't paid rent on time in 3 months, I was not only offered that all 3 months worth of rent would be paid by literally if I took one shot with them at a bar, and then because he was the ultimate chud in our like group of acquaintances, he pointed to his girlfriend who smiled and said that I would also get a blowjob if I did it when I rebuffed the money. And to which she looked at me like, sure. I was like, no and no. Yeah, so I've had one better offer than that too, but I'm not going to talk about it. No, that's for private ears. But I still haven't done it. And so
we'll talk later.
I mean, you would definitely have to. I mean, like you got to get me like on that first plane to Mars, like that level of like you know. It'll take a lot to get me to do it at this point, because now I'm holding on to that record, you know.
My cats are on a rampage right now. They're doing some terrifying things, so don't mind my glances here.
Yeah. So, you know, first up, you know, we sat here for about 30 minutes waiting on you to show up, and we understand, like, chat was cool. There was no revolt in the chat. Everyone knew you were having a brownout, and, like, it was fun. But you know, I just want to say, like, thanks to everyone in chat, because I think that's the most subs I've ever seen anyone get while, like, the pause screen was up. So, thanks, everyone. That was awesome. I love it. I need those. That's how I eat. Quite literally, that and the tips are, like, how I eat. So, you know, that was awesome. That was great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Like, so what do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk. Okay, so
let's go. There's a lot.
All right, yeah. It's a lot. We'll save good old Louise to end cap it, because there's a lot to unpack.
Oh, there's a lot to
So we're gonna start with last week. We had a good chuckle over a specific tweet from the DC3.
Yes. And for people who don't know, that's the DoD's cyber division, basically.
Yes, they're the DoD cybercrime center.
Yeah.
So that was the result of some research that occurred between myself, John Jackson, and other members of Sakura Samurai, which is the horrible white hat gang that I run in. Which
you have now joined the White Hats.
No, I really haven't.
I mean, you know, you just have an alter ego as well.
I'm the one that's not afraid to break shit. Well,
you know, every white hat group needs that one guy who is still kind of on the other side to bring them the latest toys that haven't leaked yet.
Yeah, I'm only like said in chat. I'm only 15% white hat, 99% mischief, 1% angel. Yes, this is perfect. So I can't say too much yet, because we're still in the process of dealing with the Indian government, disclosing and all that. But yeah, it was quite amusing to see the DoD be friendly with what is tentatively like what is essentially an anonymous related account.
Yeah.
Because in that initial disclosure tweet, anonymous was tagged. And the DoD replied to it.
It was.
Yeah, with just open arms. There was a comment made, DoD replying friendly to an anonymous account, 2021 as fuck. And the DoD liked that tweet.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what's going on at this point. Like, PsyOps everywhere is definitely a good way to look at it. Like, I think they're actually finally probably brought in someone to help run their social media who understands the playing field a little better. And
look in the chat. That was the head of the Pentagon's bug bounty program.
Yeah. I just think they're finally starting to realize, you know, that you actually have to talk to the community. Like, you can't just be assholes the whole time. I don't know what that entails in the end, but like, it seems to get the Indian government some good disclosure. So
it does, and as long as I don't have to talk to anybody from the Pentagon, I'm happy.
Right.
I mean, like, there's other people for that. Just go ahead, do it. But like we live in some strange times. Strange times. That's all I can say. Woo. And yeah, it honestly, it is a good thing. Organizations are waking up and realizing that they have to play ball, and accept certain aspects of the InfoSec community or hacker community that they probably were terrified of before. And I ain't gonna stop being me. So that essentially, I ain't gonna stop being me. So the more fun that this can get, the better. Realistically speaking, don't DDoS the FBI. This is a disclosure and disclaimer. Don't do that.
I mean, we watched during all the early days whenever Anon did like ask people to DDoS, and we watched people getting arrested because they didn't know that you weren't supposed to just load up LOIC on your desktop and go at it with your cable modem. Like that's not the smartest idea. Like, I even in a couple interviews and even in a couple documentaries, like, bring up LOIC, but I'm very clear to say, like, you don't just use this from your home IP. Like, if you're so bad at this that you have to use this tool, fine, but, like, still get a little better than that before you know.
Yeah, it's like they skipped over the 7 proxies note in the documentation.
They really missed a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Thanks for that sub.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a stream already. Well, that's been the show tonight. Hit my goal. No. Yeah. I keep seeing that on other people's streams. I need to get, like, besides the stuff at the top that's already there, like a goal meter thing. I mean, not to, like, end the stream, because then people won't want to reach the goal, but, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yes, that is advice from Anonymous in 2021. Don't DDoS the FBI. We've seen what happens. Don't do that.
There's a guy out in the Midwest who everyone knows his name from all the documentaries, Brian Mettenbrink, who did not know not to DDoS, from his home cable modem. And we all know his name because he went to jail for it. Now, I will say this. He went to jail because when the cops showed up to say, hey, so we think you DDoSed someone, he said, oh yeah, I did that from that computer over there. So, like, I mean, that's, like, maybe don't talk. Maybe say, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll have my lawyer reach out to you.
Oh, I shouldn't even be laughing at that because I feel bad for them as a person. Right? Oh my God. Wow.
DDoS is indeed a valid form of protest. If I can stand in front of the doors of your business in protest, keeping people from going in or out of that business, which I can do, then I can also do the same thing online, which is taking that door down, which is your website. I absolutely believe it should be protected protest speech.
If you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some other anons that have been making some noise in recent months, saying to make DDoS a protected form of legal protest, and I haven't personally commented on that, but given that we are in an increasingly online world, and holy mother of mercy.
Okay, that was amazing, and oh, wow, thank you for every one of those, Buzzkill. How do I... 20
wow.
Tier 1... Wow, okay. Well, there you go, community. Thank that one right there. Yeah, so you were talking about DDoS before we got sidetracked with the amazingness.
You know what? I'm drinking to that one.
Now, you do need to still be sober enough to talk about Louise in a little while, so slow it down just a hair.
Not only that, but after we go off the air, I'm hopping on another stream with John Jackson, and we're gonna futz around on Hack the Box, because this weekend I have been roped into
the 2v2 contest?
A 2v2 tournament,
nice.
Valentine's Day tournament on Hack the Box.
Is tonight you're just going to be playing around with the existing, the training grounds, and then the weekend you're going to actually play the real event?
Yes, exactly. So
how are you going to be streaming tonight? On here?
Tonight, yes, on Twitch. There is another channel. I will link it later on in the show once I go.
We'll do the raid thing afterward too, so everyone goes over there. So you leave like 5 minutes early and hop on, and everyone will be sent over.
Yeah. That seems like the best way that this will work.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
explain the contest to everyone.
Yeah, so the contest is it's 2 versus 2 battlegrounds, attack defense. You have to root the opponent and capture all the flag, or capture as many flags as you possibly can within a specific time limit, while also defending your own servers and hot patching on the fly. You have to maintain You have to maintain service availability as much as possible. So it's not like you can just go and log into your server and then kill all the services, because you'll be penalized.
Yeah, they have a live checks for every open port that they are expecting to see.
Yeah. So, and you can reboot the box. You have a limited number of reboots, and every time you reboot, your box is fresh, basically in base state. These boxes aren't connected to the internet. So you'll have to go and pull patches online yourself and deploy patches in real time, and kill the reverse shells that your attackers are popping, so on and so forth.
Yeah. You're gonna have to find their open connections, drop them. You're gonna have to find the files they've dropped and kill them. All kinds of fun stuff.
Yes, and I have never touched Hack the Box before until yesterday. So I am practicing.
So you guys are gonna see him practicing basically like for the first time with the teammates tonight, live after this.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't think we're gonna go for like 5 hours tonight, because we want to go long enough that we get everything done, but we also want him to be awake, so that's an entertaining stream.
Well,
the
stream is scheduled to start at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So we've got until probably, we'll say, 20 minutes or so before that.
So over the weekend, are you going to be able to stream you live doing it, or do they record it, or do they have their own stream? Do you know yet?
I have no idea, and it's a tricky situation because we don't want stream sniping.
Yes. But
yes.
I mean, if they're doing it themselves, they probably have like delays built in or something.
Yeah. So that is a potential thing we could do. We could do probably a 15 minute time delay video feed. Now that you mention it, I actually didn't think about that before. That would actually be a pretty solid way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, time delays aren't that hard anymore. I remember like 10 years ago, setting up a time delay was like mad science work without like high-end TV equipment. But now, I mean, there's plugins for that shit.
It's a built-in in OBS. You go set in one single field. Just there you go. You're good to go.
Chad has convinced me over the last few weeks that it's okay to eat my dinner on stream, so that's what's happening. If you guys all heard a bunch of crunching, that was my salt. Because everything gets salt on it. Everything. I don't care what it is, it gets salt.
The only salt I like is bath salts.
And that's the stream tonight. No. Yeah. So after this, we'll raid the stream that he sets up. Is it going to be on your channel?
It's not going to be on my channel. It's going to be on another member of Sakura Samurai.
So they could actually get set up as we're finishing, and then we could stream it. So you don't have to so we don't have to do all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That is correct. All I got to do is just go and pop in and screen share and stuff on a private Discord.
Cool. Well, there you go, everyone. That's going to be fun to watch after this.
I am glad at 11 p.m. Eastern time. I will.
Okay, so like 3 hours.
Yeah, like 3 hours. And
oh boy, did I just sign up for another 4-hour stream?
I think you did. Oh
well, we got enough subs. I guess we got to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I want to talk Myanmar. Burma.
Let me just grab this link real fast and I'll
Yep.
pop it in the chat.
Yeah, drop that in, and then I want to show everyone something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there is the link.
Yes.
So let's talk Myanmar, because one of the people involved with what Anonymous and Telecomix and everything is doing is in the chat, and then you've also been somewhat involved in all that stuff. And earlier today, Anonymous and Telecomix did a joint PDF release of the first, offering from them to the people of Myanmar to defeat all the filtering and the censorship that's going on the internet there right now. And so I want to bring that up and show that to people. So this right here is a PDF. I retweeted it a little earlier. You'll find it on my thing. San Antonio there just put it into the chat. So what this is a Tor care package, and it explains in really simple but detailed enough ways how to get out of that country past all the filters they currently have in place. And it not only says it in English, but it actually says it in Burmese, their own language. And this was put together by some Anons and also the old school Telecomix crew, which a lot of people don't really remember much because they haven't been as active as of late, or at least as publicly active as of late. But back in the day when we were doing Arab Spring and whatnot, we had like 3 sets of command channels, and there was the actual, command channels for just dealing with the people in country. But then there was the comms channel that was all about this type of stuff, and that was mostly Telecomix people, not necessarily, Anons. Just a different kind of, hacker type, and really good at comms, really good at getting around this stuff, really good at networking. And so it's really cool to see them and Anonymous coming back together for this one. I think this is kind of piece 1. There's definitely going to be a few more things coming out.
Yes. There is stuff in the pipe. We're working, coordinating on a lot of things right now. I'm not gonna speak about.
Yeah, of course. You can't say what, but like it's good to see that you have good native language translation. Like this isn't machine translated. People didn't copy and paste this. Someone who actually speaks the language went over that and made sure it was right. And that's just that's the level that this is playing at this point.
Yeah.
So so there'll be a few more of these coming. Things like this, anyways. But right now, you can find it in the link that San Antonio there shared in the chat, the riseup.net share, and it's a PDF. And we have some people on the ground there who are spreading it around by hand. So they're sharing it among their in crowds. In their various activist circles. It is going to be shared in person at the next few events that happen, which there are events basically daily there now where a bunch of protesters are showing up.
Yep.
So we will see how that goes. It's really strange there at this point because we had an event last week where protesters were going up against the police line and the military line, and the military vehicles started opening up the water cannons on the protesters. And some of the police turned around and used their shields to block the military water cannons. And that was one of those weird events, it's just Myanmar is definitely not in a good space right now. But we find ourselves with almost no viable option. And what I mean by that is the military are quite obviously the bad guys. I mean, right? How many Muslims and Islamic people did they kill, right? And how many other people have they outed, and how authoritarian and fascist are they, right? It's horrible. But back in the day when they got outed and the current leadership, who just had a coup run against them, got in, everyone thought that things were going to be a lot better now. And instead, under their leadership, the military was like, well, fine, but we're still going to go kill all these people. And the current supposed leadership said, yeah, sure, they deserve it. So turns out that the leadership that they cooed, aren't really good guys either. So I'm wondering what the outcome of this is going to be. I really just, I don't know, because the only 2 people who are laying strong claims to power that the rest of the world are listening to in terms of the politicians, in terms of the UN, neither of them should be in control.
No. It is a really fucked up situation over there. There are rumors that there is Chinese involvement in helping them set up their online censorship. I'm not going to confirm or deny any of that.
Yeah, there's lots of outside influence going on here. One of the things that they have, much like Bangladesh is to the west, and to, at this point, a lot of the east, when thinking about China, is a lot of labor willing to work at, near slave wages. And so there's a lot of other countries with interest in keeping them in that shape. And that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But that is where we are. I'm definitely wondering, where we end up here. Because, and a lot of times you'll see a country, like when you saw apartheid going down in South Africa, you knew there was a guy sitting in a jail cell waiting to be released to take over. You knew Mandela was going to come out. And compared to what was there, that was definitely a huge upgrade. I just don't see who the huge upgrade is that anyone's actually pushing strongly or has any ability to take that spot there in Myanmar yet. I'm hoping that someone kind of rises above all that and the people kind of, pick the person that they really want to push, because that'll make it far easier for the outsiders who want to help, to deal with messaging. Messaging is key on this type of stuff, and we learned that during the Arab Spring. Like, messaging to all the people of the country, getting them unified around certain people is really important. So it'll be really interesting watching this play out. But anonymous Telecomix and like-minded people are working hard to make sure that the locals get their message out and get access to everything they need access to.
Absolutely. It's frustrating. The one frustrating thing is that there are a couple of very large anonymous accounts on Twitter, and a roadblock that came up very early was Myanmar citizens going around saying, "Oh no, this account's fake. This account's fake. This one is real." And I'd like to reiterate. I've done so on Twitter, and I'd like to reiterate now. There is no such fucking thing as a real anonymous account.
Yeah, that's the point.
It doesn't exist. There are mouthpieces. There are of course there's LARPers on every level of the situation, but get it through your skulls. There is no official anonymous account, especially not ones that okay, I'm gonna stop myself from
the
saying
long
things.
rant version of
I'm gonna stop.
My favorite example of it.
There are anonymous Twitter accounts that are focused on operations. There are anonymous Twitter accounts that are focused on just disseminating of political turmoil related information. All of them are valid. It's all one gigantic family. That family fights a lot.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I'm having trouble. You know what? I'm just gonna cut it there. There is no official anonymous account. There are ones that you can tell are legitimate and that aren't.
Yeah.
Just go from there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my favorite moment in relation to that was always my CNN interview where I get on and we had talked beforehand with the producer about they asked what do I want to have on the bottom of the screen under me when it says GreggHoush something. And I said, don't say hacker and don't say like spokesperson. You can put, formerly anonymous. You can put anonymous. You can put whatever you want. And then the scroll comes out and just it kind of comes from the side and says, GreggHoush says he speaks for anonymous. And
what?
And then the woman who was interviewing me says, so my producers tell me that you speak for anonymous. And to which I said, I never said that. And then she, of course, responds, well, and as I say, I never said that, the scroll on the bottom of the screen disappears and replaces blank, which was fucking hilarious. And then I had to explain to her, like, no one speaks for anonymous. Like, that's not how this works. I just have a pretty good idea of what's going on, and I'm here to kind of explain it to you. But, like, for that moment when she said, so you say you speak for anonymous, and then it says so on the bottom of the screen, and then I say, no, I didn't, and it disappears. And I'm like...
Oh, my God.
It's the craziest thing.
So that's the other thing. When you're talking to media, always remember the media. They are not your friends. You got to be really fucking careful. Like I tell you, I spend a lot of fucking time talking to media these days, and I'm very, very, very particular and careful of my dealings with them for very obvious reasons. So. Stay away from feds. The media are not your friends. Learn specific keywords. When you're talking to a journalist, there's on record, off record, and on background.
Very important.
Very, very, very fucking important. And any journalist worth their salt will not burn you as a contact as long as you
are clear about that. I always start off conversations when I know I'm going to be interviewed and I know what I say might be printed with, nothing is on the record until I say so. And, I make sure that we open it up with, like, hey, we're going to talk for a second before I say anything that I want you to record. You got to tell me when we're in that mode, because then I'll talk like I know it's getting printed.
Yeah.
And I've had the ones who definitely were trying to catch me.
Oh, they always do. They always do. But like, if they trip over that line and you catch them and you prove that you caught them, that is, in essence, you are going to completely and utterly fucking derail their career as a professional journalist.
Yeah.
So dot your eyes.
Editors can't hire people who burn sources.
Exactly. Dot your I's, cross your T's. When you're dealing with the press, be very, very, very fucking careful. And this is advice that you can take to any discipline, not just, lol, anonymous, fun, I've seen a lot of people be burned over the years because they didn't understand what they were getting into when they started talking to journalists. So be really fucking careful. If you slip up, if you didn't say something beforehand, you slipped up, correct them. Say, oh wait, no, okay, sorry, no, this is on background. I need this to be on background. I need this to be off record, so on and so forth. Dealing with it's a dance dealing with the press. And if you fuck up, it might end up causing a world of shit for a lot of other people. So be cautious when you're dealing with the press. It doesn't matter who it is, what outlet.
Never having done an interview to just over 400 interview requests in a 12-hour period when the Church of Scientology outed me. Yeah, that first day was really important. I learned a lot in that first day. Luckily, the first couple people I talked to were cool because I'm very good at playing dumb because usually I am dumb. Like, I didn't know how to talk to the press, so, like, I just outright told the first guy, like, I don't want to make any mistakes here. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure, like, people are gonna give me some shit. And he was like, don't worry about it. Here's the things you need to know. And then he laid out, like 20 steps that I need to be following throughout the day. And I said, that's great, I love it. But playing dumb with people like that is really important because they will want to be the one who you remember as having helped you. A lot of people fall for that too. Like, just play as dumb as you possibly can because they will help simply because that's like part of their nature. They think it makes them look better. You're a better source for them now. You'll respond a whole lot more.
Exactly.
It was really important that the first few people I talked to on that first day were like one was a guy here in Boston, Chris Farron, and another was a guy at Wired, and they were both like really open to just giving me like what I needed to know. And funny, one of the tech writers at Wired at that point was also a lawyer. So when I asked him that question, he was like, "Oh," like he told me like in the legal sense, like here's the I's you need to dot.
Okay, so somebody in chat asked, can you clarify on background and off record? So off record is you're telling the journalist something that they will not report on and will not associate with you. That's like you're telling them shit that can probably cause a lot of damage or fuck up people's lives, or facts that you know that you don't want out there, as a primer for the stuff that you do want them to be able to report on, or facts that you can't prove. Correct. On background is when you want to supply facts, stuff that can be verifiable, stuff that can be put in the article, but is not associable with you,
right?
Or the people that you're talking about. Background is like, okay.
Whenever they say an anonymous source, that was on background.
Yes, exactly.
Not related, not like anonymous. Like there are military people who go on background, but like when they say anonymous source or unnamed source or person highly placed at the Pentagon or whatever else the hell they're saying, that's because they got the info on background. The only reason you would do some of these things, if you're not going to allow your name, or even if you don't want them to print it but they need to know it, is a lot of times you're talking to the press about something that they're trying to explain to the general public. And in order to get them to understand what's going on, just telling them what you can tell them, like what you're okay with them printing that doesn't get anyone hurt, isn't enough for them to understand it well enough to tell the damn story. So you've got to take stuff off the record at that point and say, look, here's the piece you're missing. Now that you understand it, go print the shit that I'm cool with you printing. But you've got to be really careful with that. Like, you've really got to meter it out. You don't give them anything more than they need to understand the story or to believe the story.
Exactly. Blue lives don't matter.
Blue lives don't exist. That's not a thing. Not a thing. Blue Man Group is not a race of people. That is
yeah. TLDR, shut the fuck up. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be clear, in the last couple of months, yes, I have talked to journalists about very specific things in very specific contexts that have resulted in a lot of shit following those conversations. So unless you know exactly what it is you're doing, unless you know and understand the potential pitfalls, because when I went and I talked to Business Insider about the Parler stuff that I did that eventually led to Donk, who is a fucking amazing, wonderful human being, doing what she did.
Donk is the best.
I understood that implicitly, this is something that could potentially lead to some very serious legal recourse on my behalf. I did not disclose to the company. No, I just was like, hey, Twitter, check this shit out. And then some journalists from various outlets came and contacted me, and from there they reported on it. Parler denied, and then because Parler denied, Donk started really digging into their shit.
Yeah, shit didn't happen? Oh, well, we got some stuff to show you.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, Parler asked for that one at that point. Like, it's like HB Gary style. Like, they were like, here, test our network.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Now, I am not an American citizen. I'm not American. I don't reside in America. When it comes to the majority of people that you would associate with this kind of work, a lot of them are going to be American.
Yeah.
In general. They have very real reasons to be absolutely fucking terrified of doing what I did in the Parler situation. And first off, abolish the CFAA.
Yeah.
Secondly, I was taking a very calculated risk that could bite me in the ass in a huge fucking fashion. But given the situation and everything involved, I decided, okay, you know what? Fuck it. This is a risk. I'm gonna take that risk. I'm gonna fucking just dump this shit out there.
Sometimes the risk is worth it.
I'm going to disclose, yes, this is a thing. Did I leak the data directly? No, I did not. I had some reservations there. I held steadfast to them. I collaborated with some other researchers. I showed them what I found. They corroborated it. And from there, it basically made Parler look like complete and utter trash.
Really did.
Mission accomplished. And
then everyone else went after it. And then the 6th happened, and all the shit piled together, and bye-bye Parler.
Yeah, bye-bye Parler. Woo! Whoa, man.
So, one of the things that was always weird to me at the end there for Parler, like, Danny Bongos, good old Bongiana, blah, 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 whatever his damn name is, went after John Matsey, like, hard. He was like, that motherfucker caused this. And never looked at you. And, he's the kind of guy who calls people out, like, loudly online. And I think it's hilarious that he went after John Matsey so hard. Like, I mean, he deserved it. So, like, it was great. Like you said, what? No, that guy. And then they just all went after him.
Oh... John Matsey getting shit canned by Rebecca Mercer.
Yeah.
And just all of this, just all of it. It's a train that doesn't end.
Yeah, it was funny shit. It was good times.
Oh my God. Oh.
So related to, some of Parler's damage from the 6th, Trump's lawyers were in the, Congress today talking about, his whole impeachment and lying their asses off the whole day. And you know what they said? They said that Antifa were there and they were involved with starting the riot. Which, of course, we know didn't happen.
Oh my goodness
that got
gracious.
Followed up by a bunch of people, who are allowed to ask questions now, asking questions, to which they decided we're not going to answer these and just walked off. Now, I think you shouldn't be allowed to just walk off under questioning from fucking Congress. Like, that seems like that shouldn't be allowed.
Oh boy. Oh gee. Oh fuck. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Can we? Yes. Chat will not let this go. Mike Lindell.
Indeed.
Mike Lindell.
My pillow.
Holy shit. Mike Lindell. My pillow. Former crack addict.
Former.
Former
there you
crack
go.
addict.
That's what I was waiting for.
Former. Oh boy. Oh Jesus. So last week we went over the OAN disclaimer.
We did. We played the disclaimer for everyone for that wonderful documentary he made.
Woo. So Antifa sluts
Yeah. That is a thing he says.
The January 6th riots were due to Antifa sluts that had drugs in their vagina, and they tempted the patriots and had sex with them. And the drugs in these temperatures is Antifa super slut vaginas made them go fucking crazy and riot.
That's what he said. Like, I don't know if anyone else watched it, but it was that crazy.
Antifa super sluts. Yeah, the hottest new division of butt security.
Yeah, the hottest new division of butt security. Ass.
Here to seize the means of reproduction.
Wow.
Woo!
Yeah.
Holy shit.
My God.
Woo! You know what? I'm sad. Why? Like, apparently there was a party and I wasn't invited. Like, what's going on here?
Seriously.
Seriously.
I would have gone to DC for that now.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to know, like, what drugs were they stashing in those Antifa agents' vaginas? I'm very curious.
Like pounds and pounds of, like, you know those reverse condoms that like fit the vagina, like just coated with psilocybin.
Psilocybin would not make them storm the Capitol. I'll tell you that much.
No, it would not. PCP?
Yeah, okay, all right.
They could have all been wet.
We got that PCP coochies. Oh, shit. Oh,
wow.
fuck. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Woo. Oh, Mike Lindell, you are a treasure for completely not the reasons that you think you are a treasure.
Yeah.
Oh,
what the hell, right? Oh, my God.
Holy shit. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I saw a Vine, or
yeah.
I'm so used to calling them Vines, TikToks.
You saw a TikTok.
I saw a TikTok.
They should be like called like talks or something. Like they're like, it's so hard to say that. I saw a TikTok.
I saw a TikTok of a former MyPillow employee that described the nightmare world that was working for Mike Lindell. And in essence, it was some crazy shit. Like every day at the start of work, all employees had to stop and they had to proclaim the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, I'm not American. I don't know your crazy ass shit. He during Christmas he would wear a war helmet, like a general's helmet, put a gigantic baby Jesus statue in the lobby of the company, and declare that we are soldiers in the war on Christmas, and we are going to win this because baby Jesus statue over here. Mike Lindell apparently played the flute, and actually, I played the flute as a child too. I've got a trophy.
Nothing wrong with playing the flute. Just
Nothing
wrong with doing what he was doing.
But would hold concerts that everybody was mandatory attendance. So we'll just say that crack probably fried that dude's brain a long fucking time ago, and this employee quit when he stated that he was going to wage war on the Obama campaign because socialists were going to destroy the country.
Okay.
And, yeah. So I was saying, and yes, that was Gregg in season 2, episode 1 of Mr. Robot.
That was me, saying my wonderful line in front of a bunch of actors who were staring eye daggers at me. Like, man, were there a bunch of people on that set who did not like me. A bunch of people.
Because you weren't SAG-AFTRA or what? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. I can explain that one to you. So, I don't know if like everyone understands how kind of like acting works when you're trying to come up and you didn't just get that big break and you're trying to force your way in. But you go in and you try hard to just be a low like background extra. And then maybe impress them with like actually doing what the fuck they want and having a look they like. You might get to be an extra that's in a few more scenes. So like you're kind of a regular extra. Like there's a coffee shop on the corner from this guy's house and that you always see that one guy, but doesn't have speaking lines yet. And then maybe if you are golden and you really start talking to them and make friends with these people, you might end up as a featured extra, meaning you could get a line. Holy shit. And featured extras actually get to stand within like a few feet of the actor who's actually speaking their lines too. And so like there's this hierarchy of like the guy who's 20 feet back there who you can barely see because he's fuzzy on screen, and the guy who's right behind the actress who's talking have like there's 10 years of work to move up that line, right? And here I am. I just walk in, and the director's like, yeah, so, like, this is how the part works. You're going to stand right there, get in front of that guy, and then, like, and I just look at the ball. I'm like, I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. And he's telling me my lines, and I'm going over the script and everything. And then Grace Gummer turns around and starts talking to me about interacting and how we're going to do it and how I don't need to feel offended by, you know, because I'm going to yell at her in the scene. And the whole time, as I'm just getting this, like, freebie, here's a line in a Emmy award-winning show, all these other actors who have been fighting for a decade to get one line in an Emmy-winning episode of a show are looking at me with this look like, you mother... And I could feel it. It was palpable. It was in the air because in that scene we're in a little bodega and there's like 30 people in the bodega. Like there's a long line, which is my complaint, that the person in front of me needs to get the fuck out of the way so we can all pay, you know? Yeah.
You know what? You know, actually, I'm replaying. I haven't rewatched it because I didn't know that was you when I watched the show last year. You know, myself and my spouse, we marathon the show because the Atlantic went and they published their piece and stuff, and I was just like, okay, you know what, fuck it, let's just watch this whole thing. Revisiting my mental memory, like I know exactly the point of that episode that was you, and I can see it in my mind. I'm just like, holy shit. Because it was when the FBI agent was there in the show, or
it was Grace,
when Grace was there and buying a bunch of shit.
So who's one of the best actresses of all time in the world? Is it Meryl Streep? Does every other actress wish they were Meryl Streep? Because I believe they mostly do, right? Like if you see awards shows, like they're all like, oh yeah, I'm up against her, she's gonna win, right? So Grace Gummer, the woman who I was opposite in that scene, is Meryl Streep's daughter, and learned from Meryl Streep, and learned her whole life under Meryl Streep. So the very first time I had to actually say anything on camera or try to look like I was playing a part, like for that, instead of just like being interviewed, which is easy, I had to do it with Meryl Streep's daughter, like as my opposite, and it's just like I was intimidated by her because she was so fucking good. With the last name change and everything else, a lot of people don't know, but yeah, that is her daughter. But yeah, she was the one, like, kind of making sure, like, when I first got there and they were trying to dress me, the funniest part was, like, they have costuming, right? So you walk in and they're like, okay, go over there and get dressed before you come out to set. And I walk in and the person who's supposed to be costuming me pulls up these dark jeans and this gray hoodie and this undershirt that's a little darker. And I'm wearing a gray hoodie with a dark undershirt and dark jeans. And then she went, wait, I have shoes too. And she pulls out these brown shoes and I'm wearing brown shoes. And she looks at me and then looks at the pile and says, you don't need to change. And I was like, but you're really good at your job. Like that was really well done. And then I sat down and Grace was already in the room getting her makeup done and shit. And I sat down and she reached over, said, hi, I'm Grace. You know, this is going to be fun. And like, she was amazing. She was amazing the whole day. But like, their costume person was holy crap good. Like, I mean, and if you watch the show, you know that she was really good at getting those characters down. Like, I loved the whole scene. Everything they built there was really, really well done. Yeah. That was fun to work on that, man. I really want to do like another one like at that level. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Uh, I have no experience in that realm whatsoever.
You'll
um,
fall into it. Like, I mean, the only things you really got to figure out, like the things that threw me, like say back on House of Cards when I was first figuring it out, was like a lot of these they set the people don't know this when they're looking at this stuff. Thanks for that, Dev Null. But they set the camera up, and it's on actual like these little train tracks that even have like bends in them and whatnot. And then the camera is actually like on timers that turn and tilt and focus the camera automatically. So they'll set the camera up, program it all, and then they step back and the camera does its work. But let's say you have a scene where like hacker's at computer and he's saying something while he's typing, right? And you have to see the camera. Well, what if he's still talking when the camera's now over here? So you have to rewrite the scene because it's easier for you to rewrite the scene than it is for the camera guy to reset all that shit up. And he was doing what the director wanted, so you've got to make it work again. But it's little things like that after like the first couple times you've got to do it live, like it just starts to become natural. It's pretty simple to do.
Intriguing.
There's a lot of that. I mean, we can talk about that when we go into some other stuff if we head down that path. We've got some ideas.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, I read your IMDb profile for the first time a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Pretty spot on.
Well, I have to tell this part of the story though. So I'm sitting here one day and I've got to write a goddamn bio of myself for another thing I'm doing, a talk that I was doing at Yale. They were like, send us like a paragraph long bio, and I'm like, I don't know how to write a bio of myself. And so I literally Googled my own bio. And what's funny is I found this page called Speakerpedia, where if you're going to speak at places, they're like a registry of people who are willing to, and then it lists what topics they have, and you can like select them. And then through Speakerpedia, you get hired. And you go and you do the talk, right? Well, I never signed up to Speakerpedia. I didn't build this profile. I did not okay them building it for me. I don't know who the fuck they are, but I loved the bio. So I felt it fair. I just copy and pasted that into IMDb. Like, they wrote a good bio. I liked it.
There are increasingly and so sometimes when you Google someone, you will find a kind of like celebrity gossip-esque site that tries to break down who a person is, their connections, so on and so forth. And I did that this morning. I found one that said that we don't know his age, but he appears to be 40 to 50 years old. And to that I say, fuck you.
Right? That's rude.
That's rude. I am 33 going on 34.
Indeed.
I'm not in my 40s. I'm not in my 50s. Thank you for thinking that I am as old as and wise as that, because I'll tell you,
that's a good way to take it.
Like I appreciate it. I really do. But I'm not in my 40s to 50s. And woo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any more like if person who wrote that shit is watching, I'm not giving you any more than that. Yes, I don't talk about my family much, and it's not known. And fix my fucking age.
Seriously. Yeah, so I got lucky that day. I mean, I did not want to write that, so that was really nice. Yeah, Jeremy just posted it in the chat there. But yeah, I might do an episode on that stuff in the future. There's still a lot of sore spots there with a lot of people. A lot of us went to jail. Although, I mean, I was one of the last ones arrested, but somehow some of them claimed that I was the one who did the ratting, like, after getting arrested. But they were already arrested and already charged. Like,
and you get you have been snitch jacketed from that bullshit.
Oh, yeah, forever.
And I'll tell you,
I helped run Risk.
You're not a snitch. Like I've told you things. You're not a snitch. Like I know that implicitly.
The amount of people who could, if only it was safe for them to say so, say, hey, I told him this and no one got in trouble, like, is large. But because of the nature of it, they can't. So, like, You're like the only one willing to even say like that out loud, but like it's just it's what a shit check it is, and I'm okay with it. I just don't care anymore. It's been so long that I was just like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was.
I could be bullshitting and doing it just for the lulz. I'm just saying. But point stands.
Yeah.
I trust this guy.
Sean behind Napster. Well, after he stole the majority of the code for Napster from Traveler, which was the EFNet user who actually wrote the server backend, and from Jordy, who wrote the front end, and then promised them jobs when his uncle decided they were going to turn it into an actual legit business, which, I mean, legit is really the wrong word there, but that's what he said. He promised both Jordy and Traveler jobs and ran off with the code and his uncle and didn't hire either of them. So yeah, he stole, like, the joke in the movie, the Italian Job, where Seth Green's character says that he stole it from him, and then fucking Sean actually shows up in the movie as like that scene where he's, you know, like stealing it from him. Like, I thought that was fucking hilarious because Sean stole like 80% of that code. He was working on the code. He wasn't like a bad programmer. Just Traveler wrote like the majority of that shit with Jordy, and like, I mean, they were way better than him. And he just walked off with it because one day his uncle saw it all and was like, there's a product there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Canadian Glenn, you raise a really good point. At this point, psyops are like that are very fucking transparent. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the person who actually I know was the one who snitched me out and ID'd me to the feds was the first one posting that it was the other way. And I'll even tell you, I mean, the funny thing that happened that actually got me ID'd was a mistake on my part. But I was literally flying out of Chicago, going back to Kansas City to visit some friends. And while at the airport, another member of one of the groups was magically also flying into Chicago at the same time. And on the other side of security, as I walked by, he looked at me and said, "Wait, is that?" And I said, "Is that?" And I recognized him. And because I had seen his pictures, I didn't realize that, like, there was no way he had seen mine. But, like, I had seen his, and I was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? What's up?" And then he said, and then we sat down, and he had a coffee while I had a soda while we waited for my plane and everything. And then he took off. And, you know, it was 2 days later that I was raided. You know, because I was only out there for one day for one event and flew back. And then, so I know exactly who did it and when and where and everything. I mean, obviously, they thought they knew who I was, and they had me going to the airport there, so they had him come into the airport, got him on the other side of security, and then made him make a positive ID, which was all they needed to get the warrant to hit my house at, at 6 a.m. Yeah. So, no, I never spoke to that person again, but I spoke to some of the people they were around, and I told them, like, this is the guy who did it to me, and then I walked off, and then years later, one of the others who I had actually given the evidence that, like, this guy was the one who did it to me, then started passing around stuff saying that it might have been me, and I'm like, okay, I can explain exactly how Poundwares went down. I mean, they made a really dumb mistake. They set up a server for spreading all their copyrighted materials in a hosting company in Texas called CI Host. Funny enough, right? CI Host. But literally, look it up. CIHOST was the name of the company. So that's fucking hilarious. And a user, an EFNet user who was outed in all the media of it, so I don't fucking care anymore. LotBD was the guy working there. He got in trouble for this, like, pretty badly. But he set up the server for them so they could just fucking move wares like you wouldn't believe, like at high speed, right on their internal network. And one of the other employees, who was Mr. Straight-laced college student, not gonna have any fun, the guy who told on the other kids in class, goddammit, that motherfucker, instead of going to Lot and saying, hey, that server's that's on your little part of the rack's using a little too much bandwidth, he instantly called the FBI and said, I think one of the other employees here is doing a bad thing. And then they show up and look at the server, and then they get Lot. Lot doesn't tell anyone. And then the guy who fucked me, Sparhawk, who I've never actually named, so there you go, everyone, was one of the guys who had enough money from a decent job that he was sending hardware to these sites. He was sending hard drives to this place, so now they got him because they got his address. He didn't tell anyone, and he started turning everyone in. And that's how he got away with it. Notice no one ever heard his name because he told on everyone and didn't even catch a big case. So yeah, it was literally just them setting up a server at a web host, and one of the other employees being that son of a bitch who, instead of asking his coworker what the fuck, instead of that, calls the feds on his coworker. What an asshole! Started the whole chain of events.
Wow, just wow. Holy shit.
The name of the FTP site that went down for all that was SG, Shale Gull. Yeah, so that's that part of the story. I don't think I'll be repeating it again, so anyone wants to remember that, remember it. But I just don't like talking about all those old times. They weren't good times. The before that was fun. I had a hell of a lot of fun, like helping to run Risk and all the early ISO groups. The first VCD group, like actually dumping movies online. Like, that was actually a lot of fucking entertainment. Like, that was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of that shit. But
my dad was all about downloading all those VCD rips.
Well, there's a whole nother story on how we did that. You know, one of the things that we learned before, like, movies were available to like grab online, and just before we figured out some of the satellite transmission systems they were using to send them between states and whatnot, we found out that up until the late 90s even, the big media companies were actually sending, like when you see like a bunch of reviewers in the 90s and earlier all put out their review of a movie, the companies, like, they actually had the right to send people with copies of the film to a state, to a city where they would all go to, and they would review it all from the same viewing in the same theater. But the guy who took the film from the movie house, like out in Hollywood, to wherever the review was happening on a plane was literally armed with a loaded gun and to protect the film. And what was funny about that was when you find the kind of guy who wants that kind of job, that's the kind of guy who's seeking rushes. That's the kind of guy who wants to do fun shit in his life. And you'd be surprised at how easy it is to get them to put a telecine machine, which would copy directly from film to disc for you, like in the trunk of their car or the backseat of their car while they're driving around in their rental car in that town that they just flew to. It was really easy to convince them to do that. Our first few
I can only imagine.
When we released like work prints of early review copies that still like were missing music in places and shit, it was because we had the guy whose job it was to literally travel with the film in our back pocket. We were getting them by sending them audio equipment. Like, they all wanted high-end hi-fi audio equipment in their houses, and we had some audio shops that were like audio TV shops that really, really thought it would be cool if in their actual store, on their TVs that they were trying to sell, the latest in-theater movies were playing. They thought that would make them look like you should buy from us, I guess. So they were slipping shit out the back door for us to give to our guys.
Wow.
We had a whole network of stupid shit going on, but I got in a lot of trouble for all of that. It was fun. It was really
oh yeah, I can only fucking imagine. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
That's some good shit. That is some good shit right there.
The early news days were a little crazy. I mean, my favorite actual story about putting servers up in places is you would always try and get schools with big bandwidth. You know, before I found my real hookup where, I mean,
I only wanted university shells.
By the time 96 rolled around, I already had a set of 40 server racks that were running the groups that I was in, that were in a building that had 6 OC3s, and we had unlimited access to the entirety of all 6 of them at 155 megs a second on each individually in 96. But before we got there,
those OC3 XDCCs, baby.
Before we got there, we were looking for colleges, right? And here is my funniest story. I'm not going to name the college or the employees because they didn't get in trouble. But at this one school, we actually got one of the tech guys to put a server in, and it was his job to actually handle the filtering in and out of a lot of the traffic at the school. So he put in exceptions in the rule set that no one else at the school was even like, no employee even had the knowledge to really read this damn rule set in the complexity that he had built to figure out that these exceptions were in there to allow his traffic in and out without it ever getting flagged on anything. And so he had a server under his desk at the school, right? Now here's the hilarious part. So did his boss. One door over, he had a server under his desk. Neither of them knew it. And that was my favorite thing. Like, we were sitting there in the channel for the group that like had that set up, and neither of them had a fucking clue that they were both running servers for us.
Oh my god!
There was a lot of crazy stories from the 90s. Yeah.
Woo!
Good times.
Yes, yeah, and like 90s. You know, I was still just a little wee. I was a wee kid.
You were playing with Turtle on the Apple, right? Drawing the little green lines.
Well, yeah. I was futzing around with Apple Basic and QBasic and the like, and my pappy was going and pulling where's copies of games for me to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
I handed a few of those, I bet. It was fun. It was good times.
Yep.
It was entertaining as hell. I mean, it was a thrill. Like the race, like the leak would happen, and you know, you would know that this company someone else got a source inside of, but somehow two different groups got the thing, and so now your cracking teams are racing for the next like hour to be the first one to break the serial system or the licensing system or the DRM for the early DRM, and we would race. Like sometimes ours would come out 5 minutes before the other guys. And it was crazy as hell. But then we started working on better systems. Like, what if we could get the people at the companies who integrate those systems into the code to give us versions without it, just so we didn't have to crack it anymore? And we got that from a couple companies, a couple big companies, in fact. We got when we released NT351, we released it without the licensing components at all, and that was because an insider gave us access to his build server on the internal network and built a build without it. So thanks, guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
All that guy wanted was access to our system so he could download whatever he wanted. Because we had all those OC3s, we had this system of servers that, like back in the 90s when you were in a Wares group, you got to download from whatever that group's personal server was for its members. So you didn't have to worry about ratio. You didn't have to worry about I have to upload to download and all that other stuff that you had to worry about back then on big scene FTPs, where it was really hard to get any ratio and download anything. You had free leech on the group one, right? Well, everyone else is fighting with their little, college, free leeches for people, where they had to kind of meter it out. Like, they couldn't even give every member of the group free leech because of, like, using that much bandwidth would be problematic. Not even the disks couldn't even handle, like, that much bandwidth coming off of the hard drives for some of the servers for some of these groups. And we had a 48 terabyte server rack with 20 1U servers clustered serving our server, and we allowed every member of the group to have unlimited connections, free leech, at full speed, forever. And then we wrote a bunch of scripts, and if you wanted to be one of our sites out in the world that got our releases for the couple groups that were involved in this, you let us put our script on your server. And so all kinds of scene servers were sending their releases the second they were uploaded to us automatically. So our central server had every release within a minute, no matter which site it had actually gotten it first uploaded to. And then all of our users had free access, unlimited. And that got us a couple cool things. That attracted the best cracking team, which meant we could break some shit that nobody else could.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
There was a lot
Oh,
to that, man. I mean, we had. What was funny is like hard drives. Like you have to have enough hard drives to feed that back then, and that's expensive shit at that time. I mean, it's expensive now to get up to like a petabyte or so, which is comparable to what we had back then. But we literally had two Fortune 500 companies, like that level companies, actual CTOs in our group using their budget to buy those hard drives. And both of them did the same thing. They both wrote it off as there was slightly more churn on the thousands of machines that their whole network across the country used than there would have been. Only bumping the churn rate up on dead hard drives and whatnot by like 3% kept us fed. Like it was, I mean, it was great, dude. The stuff that we had in place was fucking. And we should never have been allowed to build any of that. Like it was crazy.
That is incredible and fun, and I can totally see why the fucking feds chased your ass.
They were mad. They were kind of angry. Microsoft were especially mad when we dumped Windows 95 like 14 months early, when it still was named Chicago. And it still was the check build, so it had all the debug symbols and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were pissed off. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious, dude.
It is fucking hilarious. Like when I was in high school, there was a. Okay, I skipped most of my classes. Just anything that didn't involve computers, because I went from. Okay, this is gonna go to some personal shit.
Yeah.
So, grade 5, I was put into the gifted program. Because it was very clear that I was completely and utterly fucking bored with general purpose schooling. And I tested in the 99%, 99. Oh, sorry, I'm
99th percentile.
99th percentile. Like, Jesus Christ, I need to slow down with the drinking. I got shit later to do.
Yeah.
99th percentile. And then this was in grade 4, and I was already bullied quite a bit for just like not giving a fuck. So 99th percentile, grade 5, I get transferred to another school that has a gifted program. And grade 5, I didn't put up a lot of shit. Like I would do math and just put it down and be like, "You didn't show your work. Fuck you."
I did. My work was writing the answer down. I didn't have to do anything else.
Exactly.
That was always what I said.
Exactly. I'm not copying anything down. Grade 6. By that point, I was seen as like I was the schoolyard rebel. Like, I had some medical issues and so on and so forth that I'd wear a bandana because I had no hair at the time. So I'm wearing a bandana. I'm literally wearing a fucking Harley Davidson biker fucking jacket to school every day. So I'm just like this fucking rebel ass looking motherfucker. I'm like everybody in the school, everybody else in the school. You could not take off your hat, but I've got a bandana because I'm hairless. I won't go into that. It's related to another psychological condition. And wearing this biker jacket and shit. And I'm just like, man, I don't give a fuck about any of this. Like, I'm literally going and picking up cigarettes from the edge of the schoolyard, lighting them up, like smoking. I'm a 6th grader. Like straight up, I'm a 6th grader. I'm like literally picture perfect. That guy you want to stay the fuck away from because he's gonna fuck up your life. and and I got bullied a fair amount. I was introduced to the rapper Drake, whose name was Aubrey.
Yep.
Yes, I went to school with Drake, the rapper.
Same school. Yep.
Same school, Forest Hill. And because and a teacher hooked us up at one point, I traded him a Game Shark Mew because we were both highly bullied because our names were both Aubrey and lol as the girl's name. Fuck you. So I'm in the gifted program. I'm not giving any fucks. I'm just like I'm not gonna fucking write all this shit down because fuck you. Here's the answer. And I get bullied a lot and I don't show my work, and all of a sudden they put me in the I get shifted from the from the gifted program to the learning deficient program because I don't show my work. Yeah, exactly. That's a huge punishment. I get bullied a lot in the learning deficient program. I won't go into it. I get bullied a lot and I retaliate on my bullies, and this results in them calling police and my arrest in grade 6. Imagine seeing a 6th grader being carted out from school, cuffed and all. And I spent 2 years in a psychiatric facility, remote. Not fun times. So eventually they realized that, hey, there's actually nothing really wrong with this person. So they released me after my latest arrest, which happened to be on September 11th, 2011, or 2001. So I have watched the Twin Towers collapse from a jail cell. A little tiny TV off that I could see in the distance.
I would have preferred that to what I did.
Yeah. So if you want to understand my sense of humor and just like everything in general, it's just like how I just don't give a fuck about anything. Yeah, lol, like 9/11, lol, whatever. Bush did 9/11. You can understand that I have a very unique perspective on that. So, reason why I went to jail is because we had a super. Okay. I'm gonna roll it back a little bit more here because this is actually important. I got into hacker culture proper because when I was in this psychiatric facility, there was another kid there. He was a black kid whose brother was in the Dreamcast scene. And
Callisto.
When
that was
oh shit. Well, so
that was a risk offshoot.
Well, fuck. No, I had spent some amount of time just like it was pretty clear to the staffers at this psychiatric facility that obviously I wasn't enjoying my time there for multitudes of reasons. I've been transferred from a remote facility after being there for 2 years. I was a couple hours out from Toronto. I had been recently transferred to the local Toronto facility. And my roommate was a Warhammer nerd that really annoyed me tons. And the guards at the facility realized I was comfortable with computers. So they would just, if I was getting annoyed with my roommate, they would invite me into the security booth. And bless them for doing so. And I would just spend my time on IRC. and just go around, dick around. One day there was this there was another kid whose brother was in the Dreamcast scene. Saw me on IRC and was like, "Hey, you do shit?" I'm like, "I don't know. Shit just makes me feel better." And he roped me into cracking university shells for IRC distribution.
Yep.
For Dreamcast releases. And
Dude, EDU shells were valuable.
yes, they were. They're really fucking easy to pop. I was like, holy shit! Like, security now, it's still a joke, but if you knew how things were back in the late '90s, early 2000s, you just die laughing by today's standards. But that's just some backstory. So one day, myself and this individual, I brought my Super Nintendo into the facility, and I had a copy of Super Metroid. So I am challenging this person to a Super Metroid speedrun. And we're going through it, and all of a sudden there's a kid that has autism, and there's a Mac Classic in the lobby that I loaded with a whole bunch of pirate games. And the kid goes over to the Mac Classic, and he goes over to it and he pours a glass of orange juice onto the Mac Classic. And I just stop, and I'm like, I lose it. I lose my shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? It's just like literally just screaming at this kid because he fries the only fucking computer in the common area. And this escalates, this back and forth. This leads to the point where they decide, oh, hey, we're calling the police. So I'm dragged off. It's September 11th, 2001. As I'm being carted off in cuffs, they have the TV changed from my Super Nintendo to the Twin Towers on fire. And yeah, so I brought a whole bunch of I brought PC Mag, a whole bunch of stuff with me to jail, and I'm like literally just flipping through just gaming articles, reading about Duke Nukem Forever and just other meme ass shit. And I looked through it, the police were nice. They bought me a Big Mac meal from McDonald's, which I tell that to people and they're like, holy fucking shit, that you were in jail and they bought you McDonald's? And I was like, yeah, I was a fucking kid. What the fuck you want?
Yeah, for kids like that, they usually will do shit like that.
Yeah.
Still ACAB.
Yeah. Yeah, ACAB.
Like all day.
I'm watching the Twin Towers collapse through a little TV that I could see through a door. It was amazing. I was there for a day, and then the police they question me, and they do a little evaluation, and they realize, hey, this kid actually is really fucking smart. Doesn't have much wrong with him. They released me without any additional charges. They set me up with a local Toronto area high school as a transfer from the psychiatric facility. And from there, I don't do shit except for the computer related classes.
Right.
So anything I had access to a computer to, I was just like, okay, I'm there. Otherwise, I'm just like, fuck you. I'm gonna leave the premises. I'm gonna go to the cyber cafe. I'm gonna play fucking Warcraft 3, StarCraft Brood War, and Counter-Strike. Just literally, just go fuck yourselves. Okay, yeah. I've had a few drinks. How did this start?
We got to the end of me talking about stuff, and then you had mentioned where you were in 9/11, and then you wanted to tell how you got there.
Yeah, okay. Like how I really got into the culture. Right. Yeah. So while I was in that facility, I got roped into cracking shells for the Dreamcast piracy scene. And I was doing this for a while. While inside the facility, mind you, I was literally like I was in a fucking mental treatment facility cracking OC3 uni shells just for distro of ISOs.
Beautiful.
Just to let you know. Yeah. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm doing bitch work. Like, okay, so they prime me on a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna fucking play around now. Like, fuck this. I don't do shit work for anyone because I'm that personality type. Um, woo. This is kind of a tangent. I don't even know where it ends, but yeah. High school, I didn't give a fuck. I just went to a couple of courses for some weird reason. I was in grade 9 and they put me in a grade 11 hardware engineering course. It was elective because they realized my interests. I was like the only one I actually really went to, and I went to my CAD class because yeah. And y'all know how I got kicked out of school because I talked about that already.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's how you end up in all of this. You end up getting it through the Dreamcast scene.
Yeah, exactly. I got into the scene through the fucking Dreamcast scene, and I wasn't a stranger to IRC because
right.
I was already in that shit because I was downloading fucking anime fan subs.
Everything was there. You know my favorite Dreamcast story related to that? So the biggest release group for all of the Dreamcast stuff was Callisto, because our group was the first one to figure out the GD-ROM. And it was because we had that cracker who was like the best in the whole scene because he wanted access to those servers I explained a little while ago. And he figured all that out, wrote the driver and everything. And so, we're there and we do an offshoot because we didn't want like Risk ISO to be doing games. It was mostly apps, and so we did the Callisto for the Dreamcast stuff. And what was funny is there's this band I used to really like named Smack and Isaiah, a punk band. They've rebranded a couple times, and now they're Wilhelm Scream. But back then I really liked them. And a friend of mine knew the guitarist, and so I was gonna fly into town and hang out with my friend, and then go to the show, and then he was going to introduce me to the band, and I was like, that's awesome. I mean, these days it'd be like getting to meet Lagwagon or something, and so after the show, we start talking to them, and we get to go to side of the stage and everything, and they're like, hey, we're just going back over to his house, the lead singer, Nuno's house, to hang out afterward. You guys should come. So, like, them and only, like, 3 of us go, and while we're there, Nuno, like, loads up his Dreamcast with a fucking burned ISO and starts playing games. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Where do you get those? And he's like, oh, and he shows me this directory on his computer of like every release we've ever made. And I'm like, oh, well, like what's going on? And he's like, oh, well, and he pulls out this, the big folder of all the discs, that he had burned for all of his games. And I'm like, oh, well, do you know what games they're putting out tomorrow? And he was like, what are they putting out tomorrow? And I told him we had like 4 or 5 games coming out the next day. And we were just waiting on the packagers to get them packaged right, so they would, the zip sizes, the file IDZs, all the other shit. And
self-booting, so on and so
exactly.
forth.
So I hopped onto our FTP real quick and from his machine and saw that that they were done and ready. They were just going to get released in the next couple hours or so, but they weren't out there, and they were definitely weeks away from anything he had access to actually seeing them. So I downloaded them to his machine right there and put them in the folder, and I said, there you go. And I had closed all the stuff I had used to get at it. He was off in another room when I did it. And it was like, he was like, wait, where'd you? And I was like, so, like, about that new album you got, can I hear some of the songs? And he actually let me hear the early recordings of their next album, which he wasn't supposed to. The other band members were kind of a little miffed about it, but I thought it was a fair trade.
It was. That didn't know. That's totally a fucking fair trade. Like, what a
right?
Learn how to barter.
In the chat there, way back, Godzilla Jack says, "Do you have the gray hair because of age or because of stress?" You know, the gray hair really sat in from stress. I think early on, it happened in my basically early 30s as all of the stuff related to Chinology started to go wrong, and Scientology started spending millions of dollars to fuck me. Like
money
everything
wasted.
just started going weird.
Money wasted.
But yeah, totally. But so I think a lot of it came in then. So it was all related to all of this stuff basically from I joined Anonymous and turned gray. Like that was pretty much how I'm gonna say that.
I'm so sorry. Holy shit. Wow, now you're making me feel bad.
You know, someone in the chat mentioned back orifice, and I'm gonna pull up an image that has problematic language in it, but it is still from the back orifice days the funniest thing that ever happened, I think personally. This happened from an EFNet IRC that we had where we had just hundreds of thousands of machines back orifaced, and it was hilarious what we could do. But and this one actually went kind of what the early version of viral was. But let me show you my favorite thing that ever happened with that. I still actually have this image sitting over in my meme folder. After all this time, I still have the image over here. Let me find it. There it is. Okay, so depending on how this looks on screen, of course, it's going to be impossible for you guys to read. But you can see the guy's face, right? Yeah. You can see just how like that look on his face. Now look at the picture of him, all right? Really focus on him and then the girl on the bed behind him, right?
Holy shit!
So now everyone excuse the language. I mean, for Chans, this will be fine. But for a lot of our more PC-sensitive people, this is going to be out there at the end. But so the alert that popped up on his screen that made him make that face says, "Hi, I know we haven't talked before. This is your computer. Since I see everything in your room, I thought I'd throw you a few pointers. First, put on a shirt, please. Second, you've got a nice girl lying there on your bed, and you're sitting there looking like a goon on the computer. Come on, don't be gay." Yeah.
Holy
the look on his face, he actually, so we had his webcam up, and he did not, his face didn't change for 5 seconds. And she runs over to the computer what's wrong, because he froze, and then he turns the computer off. So we didn't get anything after that. But this is my favorite back orifice moment of all fucking time.
Oh my God! Savage!
That was a fun one.
Oh! Holy shit!
Yeah, right? Wow, that was a fun one.
Yo! Oh my God, that is a legendary screen cap.
Right? I still have that. That thing's from, as you know, way the fuck back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can just take a look at the window treatments.
Since I took that screen cap.
Holy shit!
Oh God, that's an old one.
Okay, modern era. Don't fucking rat fools. Don't rat fools. Record their webcam footage because this is a different day, different time, different era.
Rat, for the audience that doesn't know it, he means remote access Trojan.
Yeah, just don't do that. That's dirty.
That's what back orifice was.
Just don't do that shit. That's dirty.
If you're gonna root boxes
and stuff, there's just keep for the love of God, keep the webcam out of it.
Right. Let's talk about another thing that I at least wanted to bring up tonight, just so it's said out loud by by us to our type of a crowd. But the Lincoln Project sucks.
Yeah.
So, they pulled in over $90 million in donations from all of their social campaigns they did there. and over 50 million of that was spent with their leaders own small little companies. Companies that one of them had only ever seen $10,000 in revenue before. It was, I mean, huge grift. But then they put out a statement, a couple nights ago after the New York Times article, stating that they're apologizing for not believing people on the Weaver thing. Weaver, the head of the group, the CEO of Lincoln Project there, John Weaver. He was accused by 21 different young men of coming on to them sexually. And the way he would do this at the Lincoln Project was he would bring in interns to interview, and he would only interview young, good-looking males in his mind at college age. And then they would get the internships if they were a little nicer, is what it looks like. So now there's an internal investigation going on into that, even though all of that was reported to them last June. So they've had that long to do something about it, and instead they said back then, nah, it's nothing, it's all lies. So now that it's all coming out, they go and fuck up, because now they're trying to figure out what to do about this. And so the New York Times report comes out saying all these fun things about the money, about where everything's going, about the disorganization, about the grift, about their leadership, and some of their legal status to even be doing some of this, just all kinds of fun stuff, right? And so now they're in attack mode. They put out the apology, but it's a non-apology. They've had since last June to apologize. It's obviously just reactionary, right?
Yeah.
So other people who are former employees of this want out of the NDAs they signed, so they can go talk to the press. Now, in their apology, they say, hey, just reach out and we'll let you out. But what they're saying is, you have to actually get our permission to get out of the NDA.
Nah!
They could just blanket wipe out the NDAs. They have that power. On their end, they can literally say publicly, we aren't going to enforce any of these. And they can just destroy it. Done. Over. And they aren't, because they don't really mean it. So, one of these people starts talking with the press. Jennifer Horn is talking to Amanda Becker, and they're doing an article about all of this fun stuff, and they all start getting threatened. And Jennifer Horn used to work for them, right? Used to work for them. And then yesterday on their Twitter accounts, this happens. They post from the Lincoln Project, this was deleted very quickly, a federal crime, where they logged into her Twitter, which I guess must have still been logged in on one of their accounts, on one of their computers or something in the office, and they screen capped her private conversations with the reporter and then posted them to Twitter. Oh, that is illegal. And then they went so far as to, like, before they did this on Twitter, and a lot of us screen capped the fuck out of it, Rick Wilson, grifter in charge at this point, tweets this out, and, no one knows which employee inside of the company was actually the one who did that tweet on the Lincoln Project's Twitter. No one but, of course, the person who did it, right? But the timestamps on these, he tweeted this out about 10 seconds after that came out. So I'm guessing Rick might have tweeted that. I don't know for sure. That's my personal opinion on things. Don't sue me. I'm just saying it looks pretty, tight-knit there. So they decided that it would be fun to break federal law publicly in response to more reporters looking around for stories. I just think that's hilarious, personally. That's, exactly what I would expect out of someone getting exposed like that. Like, that's what I expect out of them. Like, that's the level of stupidity, because they don't know it. They have been coddled. The right who they were with didn't want to attack them, because in the end, a lot of the powers that be, like the Trumps and whatnot, were going to lose power. And these people would again kind of assume their roles in the parties. And the left didn't want to attack them because they were attacking Trump. So they were in this really coddled, safe space. And I'm sure they don't know what the fuck to do about this right now. But I do like that everyone screen captured them breaking all the laws.
Yes. Woo!
Yeah. Oh
Oh
boy.
my goodness. Oh,
So there could be both civil and criminal action. The reporter has the ability to go after them because neither the reporter or the person whose account it is gave permission for their private conversation to be made public, and at least one of those parties had to say that it was okay for it to come out. So that's piece one of their problems. Piece two of their problems is because they logged into her account without any permission and then did this somehow, they violated the CFAA. Literally, that's like the first trigger point. Getting into someone else's account without their permission. Bypassing access controls is loosely defined enough that if you log into someone else's account, even though like you somehow got their password, you have still bypassed login and access controls because you weren't supposed to and you didn't have permission. So they have done all kinds of bad things. Let's see if they get in trouble for it. Absolutely abolish the CFAA, but if it happens to still be here, fuck them with it. I'm done with all of my friends getting fucked with it.
I have been getting some shit lately from some friends that I consider family over some of the long-term effects of the parlor shit.
Yeah.
And including some stuff that happened afterwards that maybe I got a little bit too caught up in. And essentially those friends told me to get your shit together, be true to who you are, like just fuck off, stop dealing with feds. And I agree with them. And actually, like, I had a panic attack, and I was querying them in IRC, like, what the fuck did you do to me? Because they called me out in a non-ops, which was highly uncomfortable. Yeah, don't fuck with feds. Like, just
Yeah. It's pretty simple.
period. It's pretty simple. Like, don't let yourself get caught up in the moment. Don't fuck with feds. Don't feed feds info. If you leak something or you release something, whatever, they have the fucking resources, and they can figure it out themselves. Don't fuck with feds. And my friend was very right to give me shit for what they did. And I had a very close heart to heart with them.
Yep.
And like,
Sometimes you got to do that.
yeah, exactly.
So sometimes you just gotta come together with people like that. So I want to get to Louise Mensch here, but first I want to
Yes.
take a short break, refresh my drink, a few other little things. We will be back in somewhere around a minute, and we will talk about good old Louise Mensch. So
Louise Mensch!
stay tuned for the fun part. First, I have to figure out how to actually do the thing, which I'm never good at because I don't keep the creator dashboard up, which I should on my screen like you're supposed to. So, all right, everyone, we will be right back, and here we go. And we are back. All right, everybody. Look at me, like, transitioning in and out with the right words and everything. Good times. The old stories. We are not back. Oh my god, what happened? Anyway.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, they can hear all of us. The old stories. No, I enjoy telling some of the old stories.
Hit follow, hit subscribe.
Hit the follow, hit the subscribe. We definitely need it here. I know a lot of it's already happened. I think that this is easily the biggest episode for that stuff for the show. So, definitely.
Yeah.
Never say sorry for fucking with us in the chat. I think that's what most chat does. When I watch like YouTubers who live their stuff, like the entire time, they're saying, "You're lying to me, chat. Stop saying that, chat." Because chat always fucks with people. So I think we should get used to it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on to the star of the hour. Louise Mensch, who is definitely not a mensch. If you catch me. So this woman is, well, this is my personal opinion, but I honestly think she's actually insane. I think she's out of her mind.
Yeah, she is. All right. So last week I was leftist. Let me be clear. I was setting out some bait, and she bit. So yeah, she ain't a leftist in the slightest. She is a far-right mouthpiece that is very invested in knocking down very specific and grounded in truth conspiracy theories. She's compromised, flat out. We'll just start there. That's the best way that you can describe the situation. That lady is as compromised as any human being on Earth can potentially be compromised. Okay?
100%. I believe that. And you are 100% correct, Jeremy. I will work on that language better in the future. You are right.
Yeah. So I've been very, very particular about that too. When people have commented on things that I've shared that Mensch has been saying about me, their instinctual reactions be like, "Oh, she's insane. She's clearly lost her marbles and stuff." No, just take that completely out. If you take a look at her connections and everything she's been involved with over the years, it's very clear that no, she's not insane. She knows what she is doing, and there might be somebody behind her steering that ship. Let's just get that out of the way completely. Not a crazy person. Don't make fun of her as if she's insane, because she actually isn't. Understand that there are outside forces or outside interests that are steering everything that she is doing. Let's move on.
Yep.
Next.
There you go. That is our conversation on Louise. I mean, I will say that everything she is claiming you have done is funny, to say the least.
Yeah, so...
There's a laundry list of things that Kurt has done. 1, he worked for Steve Bannon. 2, he did the blue leaks. And 3, he doesn't know how the internet works. So, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes.
These things aren't even compatible!
I mean, just, it's... Yeah, the thread in which she, like, tries to explain the internet to Donk is one of my favorite threads related to Donk so far. Cause
SSL versus CLS, baby. Like what the hell? Oh my god. This is okay. Yeah. So okay. According to Louise Mensch, I'm responsible for blue leaks. I'm gonna keep staring at the camera for as long as it takes you to sink it in. Just.
I can tell you with a certainty that that is not true.
Yeah.
She might have the wrong continent.
Yeah. So we'll just start there.
Anyways,
So
as for the chat, I have to address this one sticking question in the chat. Didima there. Well, I would say that, you know, and depending on what state you're in, there's legal issues there. You know, maybe you should get some help. There are definitely good therapists to help you deal with sleeping with your sister. But, you know, in those urges, because they're not really right. I'm not going to kink shame, though. I'm just saying, like, there are people that can help you out of the situation.
Yeah. Okay, so Louise Mensch, we'll start with some background. She is not some chick. She is a former member of Parliament in the UK. She is a Tory, a former Tory. So we're talking about a conservative former UK right-wing politician. Okay. This isn't
She was an elected official. People actually voted for that woman.
Yes. So ground floor. Yes, this is a former politician. Period. Marries Peter Mensch, moves to the U.S., becomes a news corporation stooge, and you know, smears her shit everywhere. Helps co-found Heat Street, an extension of News Corp. So that's her background. She is essentially a paid far-right troll.
I could believe that. That makes complete sense to me.
Yes, and her whole thing with latching on to Andrew Breitbart and Steve Bannon is essentially an extension of the I try not to think about them too much, but who owns the Murdochs? Yeah,
the Murdoch family.
Murdoch versus Breitbart. Within the far right, you'll find there are a lot of factions and a lot of and Sinclair. You'll find there's a lot of factions and a lot of infighting. Because at the end of the day, it's all about power grabs, who can control the narrative the most. So Louise Mensch is heavily compromised by who we may not know, but there is a very clear career trajectory that explains why she would be trying so desperately to throw any spotlight off of her onto the nearest patsy. And clearly, myself and Donk Envy have become that latest patsy. And this has led to some of the funniest ass conspiracy shit that I have seen on the internet in a long time. Like, you really think that Louise Mensch telling me that, oh, I know you're responsible for Blue Leaks, so just to remember that before, you know, after LulzSec. You know what happened after LulzSec? I'm gonna take you all down. Just me, I'm so fucking like Louise. I know you're fucking watching this shit because you have admitted to it on your Twitter.
She did actually admit to it on Twitter that
yeah.
Good times.
So Louise,
if you're in the chat, Louise, raise your hand. We all want to say hi.
Yeah, please, just out yourself. Just stop being a fucking low life coward. Just fucking spinning all these narratives and shit. And just out yourself, please.
Seriously, Louise, I need more subs. Like, you know.
Yeah, like come on. If that's not you in my Discord server, talking shit and trying to blame me for the Florida water treatment plant, which is, by the way, Greg, I don't know if I brought that up. But that's
Yeah. I heard that one another way.
Yeah. So,
and I laughed at it too. Like, you
yeah.
aren't that guy.
Yeah, trying to pin me and then psyop some the current day ghost sec people into like fighting with one another, fighting with me, and it's just it's fucking pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. And if I find out that person in Discord is actually you, there's a lot of really fucked up and racist shit that you have been throwing on the table. Just throwing that out there. So fuck you, whoever did the water treatment plant hack.
Fuck you too.
Fuck you too. Seriously.
The thing about Louise that always bothers me the most is that she keeps playing victim. Like, oh, they're threatening me. We aren't the ones coming at you. You're the one coming at us. Like, what?
Trying to say that I am part of Steve Bannon's ops, that I am part of his grand architecture, is frankly so, like, that was actually just, that was insulting. That was insulting to me. And
yeah.
And
that's
frankly,
a personal attack.
That's insulting to person that does not have so many fans. But that was insulting to Neil Rauhauser as well. I'll just throw that out there. Just trying to implicate the both of us as being part of this gigantic fucking framework of Steve Bannon ops to, I don't even know. I don't even know what the fucking end would be here. But I had nothing to do, personally, I had nothing to do with Blue Leaks. I had nothing to do with Microchip, the bot lord boogeyman that was named in recent indictments. I'm not involved with any of that shit. Period.
Damn straight.
Like, I am just so completely disconnected from any of that, where these accusations come my way and I'm like I have to Google them half the time.
Right?
Like, and then I just laugh and have a good fucking time, because it was like, okay, all right, you're gonna go with that. You're gonna fucking, all right, this is all right, we're gonna have a good time. You probably should not have entered my radar to this capacity. And that is the state that Louise Mensch currently occupies.
Occupies.
Occupies. Fuck you, Louise. We are going to have a beautiful relationship if you keep this thing going. I'll tell you what, right now. Like,
I would like to repeat for the record that I hadn't mentioned her name on Twitter until the day in which she mentioned mine twice a few days ago. In 6-7 years, like, I am not coming at her in any way. She came this direction, like she wants to claim victim and she's getting threatened. I didn't start shit, and I didn't. Yeah. Like, what?
There are 420chan users or 420chan former users adjacent that are part of the professional wrestling community that we harbor, that I have noticed being like, yeah, what the fuck? Louise Mensch is going after Kurt. This is like the ultimate worlds collide moment. I have no fucking idea what is going on right now. And to that I say, I fucking agree. This is just, I don't even know. Just because, okay, I'm not going to say this on stream because it would probably be bad. I'm just going to just pretend in the last 5 seconds didn't happen. I'm really good at capturing myself. Yeah. So, no, I did not leak that fusion center. That was not me. I had no involvement in any of that shit. You can take that one to the bank. So all your threats, all of your public threats to the FBI Washington field office Which, by the way, it's like why do you have to pick that one specific field office? Why can't you take every fucking FBI? You're like just go fucking all out. I'm not even American, for God's sake, and neither is Donk, mind you. So it seems like you're just making this impotent play to make it seem like you're big, important, send people to prison, when in fact you're a gigantic fucking joke and always will be. And like, especially when you were in tight with people like Milo Yiannopoulos, which there is very clear proof of, and then y'all broke it off. Yeah, there's photos, and then y'all broke it off and kind of went at each other's throats and stuff. It's like, y'all don't understand. When drama like that comes in my direction, I fucking thrive. I will fucking go to the wall as hard as I can. Just to show you to be the joke that you actually are. So if you want to continue this little fucking game, I will go to the absolute fucking limits possible, Louise. Do you understand that? I suggest that you back off, because you will not have a good time. You will not win. You will not beat me. Nobody has ever fucking won. This is drinks. Nobody has ever fucking won over me. Gregg knows this. Everybody
that's ever... It's fun. No, it's also really not a fun fight either.
No, it isn't. Like,
I will be very clear with the crowd. I was on the other side of that once. This was a long time ago, but man, it's not fun being on the other side of that, I can tell you.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I can get away with. I suggest you back the fuck off before you have a really fucking bad time. Okay?
And that's that. So let's move on to the next person. Are you guys ready, since we talked about wrestling, to talk about the next thing?
Yeah!
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys an image, and some of you already saw this earlier, but here comes a fun one. We're gonna bring this up now. Maybe. All right, here we go. And since, Kurt knows a little more about wrestling than I do, I think Kurt should definitely help on this one. But the very basics are...
The Midnight Express, baby! Okay, so it turns out that Lauren may actually be an incest love child.
Yeah, she is her own second cousin. Because her mom claims that she is the bastard child of Stan Lane, former professional wrestler, and also her cousin.
All right. I broke this days ago.
You did. Actually, this is the tweet from today that went kind of viral, but he did post actually days ago about this.
Yes. Yeah. Because specifically, I wanted to get Jim Cornette on this shit. You don't know who Jim Cornette is. He is a former professional wrestling
management guy, WWE, all the other stuff.
Yeah. He's the guy that would come out with the wrestlers and talk some shit, and basically like puff up the people that he was quote unquote representing. So. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, because I didn't expect the professional wrestling side of things to actually collide with this situation, and I was surprised with this. And well, now it's just things never stop getting funnier. They don't. I like, wait, what the fuck even is reality now? Like,
so back to us. I mean, everyone who was claiming she must be inbred or some other joke about like just how dumb she was. I mean, maybe like.
Yes, it seems like she is inbred. So, I am not gonna make too much fun of this situation, because we can, without guilty consciences, we can make much more fun of the following situation of the QAnon politicians. Good old MTG.
Indeed.
Yes. So, I don't know if you saw this or not, Greg, but Marjorie Taylor Greene apparently had a tryst with a tantric sex expert, a guru.
Yes.
Who apparently had a knack for Street Fighter and decided to cosplay at one point as Zangief, the professional wrestler character of Street Fighter 2 and on, who is amusingly Russian.
Which is fun.
Like, he is Russian's tailor-made special professional wrestler. So, just between the Lauren Boebert being a ancient professional wrestling inbred love child and MTG getting super slammed by somebody potentially dressed as Zangief, Russian professional wrestler, canonically, just I don't like 2020. Yeah, 2021. Please, just don't fuck. Like,
what a year.
Just don't stop. Just don't stop this. Like, we are in this shit. This is the ultimate fucking meme year, and oh my, it's just holy fucking shit.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely crazy right now. I don't understand half the shit that's going on. I'm just looking at it like, well, that's new. Oh, I mean, Joss Whedon was canceled this week, if everyone didn't notice.
Really?
That sucks.
I missed that. I missed that.
Well, he was so bad on set with his advances and whatnot that Michelle Trachtenberg, one of the actresses from Buffy, says that there was actually a rule on set that he was not allowed to be alone in a room with her, that if anyone knew that they were the third person in the room, they weren't allowed to leave the room until she wouldn't be alone with him. That's how bad it was. So, I guess fuck Joss Whedon, which sucks, because I like a lot of the content he produces, but now fuck him.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So,
See,
yeah.
I deal with enough drama in my sphere of things that I actually miss
A lot of that type of
probably
stuff.
Yeah, and that is highly disappointing and highly depressing.
It is, right? Like, just, ugh. What the hell, man?
Project Veritas, they got suspended from Twitter. There's not much else to laugh about there.
Permanently. Lying liars who lie get suspended permanently. That's the headline.
James O'Keefe, when's he going?
So he's not suspended permanently. He's suspended temporarily, they said. So we'll have to see how he plays when he gets back.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you after the stream. Anyways. You know, sometimes stuff comes up on your screen and you're like, I think Kirtaner did that. Anyways. Yeah, so good times. You know, it's like you're the bogeyman now, right? Like,
I mean, I relish it. I enjoy. If you were in any position political, like within a political sphere, wouldn't you love to be the bogeyman too?
Right? Like, it's the best.
Let's just be real here.
All right, what are the things you have to
I
remember?
did all the hacks. Yeah, I hacked that Florida treatment plant. Yeah, I did that. I released all the police records. I did everything. It's all me. WikiLeaks, Vault 7. Yeah, bitch, that was me too. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
He did none of those things, is the point here. Thank you for all of that. Yeah, so your thing is at 11. I think you need some water and a little bit of rest before you get to that.
Yes.
So I don't want us to stay on for the next hour. We don't have to go right now, but I think we need to give you at least like half an hour in between.
Yeah, we still have a little bit of time.
Yep.
So chat questions.
Yeah, what do you got for us, chat? What do you want to know about? You seemed to enjoy some of the older stories, you know. He might have been. He is the audio guy here. What do you got for us, chat?
I don't like. Honestly, we're probably not going to win. The thing with Hack the Box is that it is an artificial environment with very specific experience related shit. But I hope to defend some boxes really fucking well. John, he's a pen tester. He's never really dealt with the defense side of things. I have a lot of experience on both ends of the fence, so I might be going and downloading some fucking source for patches and screaming while GCC is doing its thing, and just giving him advice or guidance wherever I can. So we're very we haven't coordinated or done anything like that. At the very least, it should be really fucking funny.
Yep, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be tweeted out. The stuff for tonight will be tweeted out on the Real OG anonymous account. I'll send it out to. It'll probably go out on the Stan Kirtaner account, which is my new favorite Twitter account.
Whoever you are, I don't know who you are, but bless you. You are a treasure.
That account is awesome.
I will not be pure blue teaming because while I'm going and fucking patching shit and watching for unknown connections, I will be just giving advice, telling him, okay, do this. So it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be chaotic as fuck, and there's going to be a lot of screaming.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time.
Shaka, I was not busy. I was very close to that, though. That is very close to a nick I had, off by 2 characters. Are memes better in...
Give me pizza money, please, for the love of God. I need... I have eaten nothing. Over the last 3 days, I'm going to tell you something really depressing. I have done nothing. I have eaten absolutely nothing but microwave burritos. And
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Hey, so Kurt... Post your Patreon. There's Sanatomi's got you.
I will give.
Someone.
Do you have Dogecoin? Do you have Dogecoin? Do you have Bitcoin? Do you have Monero? I'll put those addresses in the chat.
Yeah, those will get pasted in before we're done.
And by the way, I am completely out of food because I was in a pit of depression and
that
a bit
happens
drunk.
To our type a lot.
And apparently I left a entire sealed bag of microwave burritos on a table at some point when I was feeding my animals, and my dog ate all the microwave burritos, and I found the bag this morning and I was really sad. So I haven't eaten anything in about 12 hours.
What's your PayPal email?
Yeah, suck. I'll
put it in the chat because there's a couple people who want to be cool, or are cool and want to help. Let's just say it right?
Yeah.
And memes are better in GIF.
I spend more money on food for my pets than I do on myself. I just buy whatever cheapest shit that I can get.
There you go.
Fucksuck at iCloud.com. That's not a troll. That is actually my current.
That is also account. Awesome. Yeah, everyone help that PayPal out for him there. I got enough subs and everything else tonight. If anyone else wants to be generous tonight, do that one there.
And I'm gonna pull up my wallet. I'm gonna put some fucking crypto addresses here.
Let's see here. Let's look for the next one. Marble Cake not on 420 Chan. So when we were getting kind of kicked around on IRC servers trying to find a home.
Okay, hold on.
Give me 1 sec. We went from the original server way back on Netelligent. Then we went to Party Van. Then we got kicked off. Tried to go back to Netelligent. They didn't want us. Then we tried to go for 420 Chan. That's where this guy comes in. And then we end up back on Party Van. But in that interim step is where me and Kurt had some words. And I learned that he gets angry when he thinks he's threatened. Even if you're not the one, like, issuing a threat, if the thing you're doing is threatening him, he becomes a problem.
Yeah. So
I learned that one.
Very early on, we're talking early 2007. Things started blowing up, happening at a very, very, very rapid pace. And it was decided that... Yeah. So it was decided that anything ops related, anything that could potentially lead to myself and people within my inner circle could potentially lead to illegal problems, they need to fucking go. So no channels, no nothing. Party Van IRC arises from that, essentially. Anything ops related were sequestered to there. Yeah. And so when Gregg asks me, hey, can we move to your IRC? I kind of overreact because I had already had a visit from the intelligence community, and I was really fucking paranoid, just like in general. So in short, I told him to go fuck himself.
Yes,
and,
basically.
And things were not good.
The reason was really clear that we were going to draw way too much heat in their direction, and it was only 2 days after that we had 10,000 people on the server. So we definitely would have drawn too much heat in his direction. He was not wrong keeping us from getting over to that server. So I don't fault him for that in any way. And even at the time, I understood his argument. I just wish I hadn't kicked the sleeping bear. It was not a good idea. But yeah.
People. There are some people that consider me a loose cannon. But no. Over the years, I am very, very particular in the way that I've handled myself, and that has been to my credit and to the credit of anybody that has ever worked with me on anything ever. So, no, obviously Gregg and I are on really good terms now.
Oh, yeah.
And everything is all cool. And it was just I was barely a good amount younger. I was a loose cannon, but not in the truly dangerous way that would have fucked a lot of people over.
Now, your version of going loose cannon was still aimed right at the person who you thought it needed to be aimed at. It was just overboard at that person.
Yeah.
You made your point, though. I mean, I definitely heard what you were putting down.
Yes, exactly. And realistically, end of the day, everybody is all the better for it.
Absolutely. It all worked out. And yes. Party Van ended up adding a couple more nodes to the network, and then we ended up moving off to our own anon-net for a while, which was up for a long time. You guys might like Kiwi IRC, the web interface and all that. That was us building that for our anon-net because we were sick and tired of all the fucking web interfaces to IRC. So most of the newer web interfaces to IRC are based off of the code base that was originally built for a non-net, our little network, by one of the oppers there. W, you are awesome. But yeah, let's see here. What else is in here? Check and make sure that your PayPal is awesome, because it should be awesome now.
Yeah, I will check in a second. Let me just put the last, because it's
Let's see here. Godzilla Jack, if you are referring to me with any of the drug questions, none. I've never done any drugs. The worst thing I put in my body is Pepsi, and I do that when I need caffeine for things like the stream and whatnot, but that's it. I do not do any drugs, any alcohol of any kind. So if it's me, I've never had any. I've never even had a sip of alcohol, like not one sip of beer, nothing. I've avoided all of it. It's been pretty hard sometimes because people definitely at the right parties get kind of upset that you're not partaking. But I don't think you're that wrong, Jeremy, honestly, but whatever.
I just go like I go to the beach, and there was a point where I went to a beach, and just all of a sudden, just like people pass. I was in the fucking water, and people were just passing me joints and blunts out of nowhere, and it was really fucking funny. I go to a party, and just like all of a sudden, it's like, oh hey, here, have a line of blow. So clearly, I radiate some kind of different aura where people are just offering me shit. Doesn't matter where I go. You are a very pure and faithful person, and I appreciate you, Gregg. And
someone has to do the driving. Someone has to do the driving, damn it.
Yeah, somebody has to be that designated driver. That's also why I never go outside, so I can just party as much as I want to fucking do. And
I mean, I've been very clear.
Easier.
Like, if anyone wants me to take a single hit of weed off of maybe one of like the pens or whatnot, like with the wax or something, $1 million in unmarked, untraceable bills, varying currencies, is what I need basically. And then I'll do it. Hand it to me in cash. I'm not taking any kind of electronic accounts.
Okay, all right. So we have a goal. We have a goal. So. Bring a briefcase, $1 million unmarked dollars, and I make sure you pay for me to travel too, so I can verify this.
I mean, I guess I would take Bitcoin, quite honestly. I mean, at this point, according to people on YouTube,
not Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's going to $500,000.
Take Monero, and then you convert it to Bitcoin. You're good.
You're not wrong, definitely. Let's go down the list here. So you have PayPal. God, I had this stopped way up there.
I'm gonna open my mail client. Oh,
where are we here? Buy a rice cooker. Damn. Yeah, he probably should have a rice cooker.
I have a rice cooker. And my rice cooker, I accidentally, because I'm so depressed, I left old shit in there too long and got full of fucking larvae, and I have to clean it.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah.
I hate cleaning that type of stuff out.
If you want to get a good idea of how deep my depression goes, you just got a really fucking good picture. Anyway,
the thing about mental health, especially in our community, is a lot of people with the type of brain who can do the type of stuff you do also have those problems. Like, they really go hand in hand. I don't know many people at the levels that you play around at that don't have these types of issues, to varying degrees, of course.
So actually, to start this, I opened up my mail client, and there are 6 mails here from PayPal, and I'm really appreciative. And the first mail actually happens to come from Twitch Interactive. So ironically, I just got paid by Jeff Bezos, and then y'all just threw in, and like
I'm
seriously,
actually going to get like enough money to get groceries out of all the subs from this last month. Finally, like, it's actually added number. I think it'll be over 200 this time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to order some food because I'm actually really hungry. And
that's starving. A really good idea.
And
I would order something to eat now. Get something hot on the way. I don't care if it's pizza. And then make sure you get the grocery store in.
Yeah, because I go to the grocery store, and I like, when I go to the grocery store, it's just a couple bags of microwavable stuff and like $60 of dog and cat food.
Yeah, basically, dog and cat food first. That's how I always was when I had pets. Like, they get fed, and then I worry about me. Like, I'm there with you on that one. But You got a few donations there. Make sure just order something like right in between. We'll get off here soon, so you can order some food, so it's there for your next stream. So
I'm just gonna no. I'm gonna do this right now because
stream
I
gets
still
to
have
watch.
I have a lot of streaming coming right up, so I'm gonna go and submit this order right now.
I'm trying to scroll through and catch up with the chat here, guys. After I asked for everyone just to make sure. No, okay, I'm caught up now. Good. All right, yeah. Self-care for stuff like this is always important. I am literally just now at the point in my life where I have learned how to fit keeping the kitchen really clean on a daily basis into my life in a way that doesn't send me off into a corner not wanting to touch it, like just hiding from it.
I haven't had any dishes in
right?
about a month and a half
My
because
trick
all
is
the
breaking
dishes
it
are
up into
clean.
little pieces. Like,
No,
I'll go do 5 minutes when I walk through to go use the restroom. I'll do 5 minutes on my way back. Like, I never do the whole thing at once.
I just use empty pizza boxes in the microwave.
That's honestly easier. I mean,
Now you know. Now you know how depressing my life is.
But this is hey, first step is talking about it and understanding it and being okay with the fact that that's just where you are. We all get there. I've been there, like literally there. So like I get it.
That's like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 18 empty Monster and NOS cans on my desk. And
that's a lot of calories.
And
not good calories.
It's not good calories, and like I'm not even like I'm actually still losing weight because I'm just generally not taking really good care of myself lately.
I mean, that again is also really common, like in our space. Like we need to work more on like we're lucky we've got a pretty strong community here, right? Like the second you said like, by the way, my fridge is empty, like your PayPal lit up, right? Like I mean that's the kind of community we've built around here, and I think that's important for people, especially like you in the space that you're at right now. Like being able to, be strong enough to be able to say that out loud so people can hear you, and then 2, be in a loving community that actually is going to help you. Like that's a really positive thing to watch. Now, I gotta ask, and I'll talk to you off of course, but like, at some point you should, tell me if there's anything I can do to help with that type of stuff beyond the normal stuff, because I realize like I've had my moments where like literally months I didn't even want to get out of bed before. So like I've been there. Luckily right now I'm not there, so I'm feeling pretty good, which means, I have some cycles to give if you need any mental help, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, cats always help.
Yes, they do. She could feel the sadness and she came over.
And the cat's like, "You ain't putting me down, motherfucker." Kitty!
Kitty, look at this polydactyl beast. Look, she has opposable thumbs. This cat is scary with what she is able to do. And this is a foster fail. This a Ural, named after a Draenei World of Warcraft character. This is Ural. And she was a foster that came in about a year ago. There was a litter, and they didn't tell me that. Oh, hey, this one kitten was not part of that original litter, and she got into fights a lot with the mama.
Yep.
And so we took her out of the foster space, and she immediately curled up on our bed. In between pillows, and just that first night, and it's just been from there like, okay, you're not fucking going anywhere, and that's where this little punk
good kitty
came from. And I've like myself and someone else has been fostering kittens for years now. And if you have adopted a kitten within the Toronto area and all of its neighboring regions, there is a non-zero chance that you have adopted a feral kitten that was socialized within my household. 400 coming
And
about
that's
400.
good work, and that's awesome.
400 kittens socialized and adopted out. And then that's not counting the additional cases where it's been adult cats 1 to 4 years old that have had medical problems that have been rehabilitated within my household and treated and then gone out. So there's been a lot. Like, there are a lot of people that can't get into the foster game because they can't handle the emotional turmoil of rearing something and then seeing it go like that. And it is hard. Sometimes they really do get attached to you, and you to them. It is really difficult work, but it's incredibly fucking rewarding. So if you feel like you want to do something and help the world, look into animal fostering.
And you can literally just reach out to local shelters to you and talk to them about how that works in your community, and there will be someone who kind of coordinates that type of work and has a group of people like Kurt's, out there who do this work with them.
When I warned some people at I warned some people at the foster group, the animal rescue groups that I do work with prior to my Reddit AMA, and they didn't get it, and they did not understand at first. And then the Reddit AMA hit, and I started getting text messages from them being like,
"Yep,
okay, wait, hold,
well
I
then,
I saw it." And I totally fucking understand now, and we increased our DDoS protection tenfold. Let's just hope nothing happened. Yeah, like it was that level of hilarity, realistically speaking.
That ammo was good. That was a really good choice to do that. That really was good. A lot of people found this through that actually.
People are still replying to it, asking questions.
They will
so
for a little while, yeah.
They will. There was somebody this morning that replied to us like, nobody cares. And I'm just like,
yeah, like months later, sure. Like, what are you doing in there months later?
Okay, like seriously, who gives a but people are
some kind of bot that just like brings back old threads with just that one comment over and over.
When I have time, I go through my backlog. I still have 1,000 unread private messages, about 200 unanswered chat requests and stuff. So like I'm from the follow to that, I'm still following it back.
So Kurt, Quad asked the important question: did you finish ordering the food?
I did. It says preparing order right now.
There you go. That sounds like you ordered Domino's.
No, pizza.
Okay,
local.
Same difference.
So pizza. It's not Little Caesars. It's a little Canadian versus U.S. thing where in the U.S. Little Caesars, the caveman dude goes pizza at the end of your commercials.
Yep.
Not the same over here. Little Caesars exists over here, but due to branding and the fact that Pizza is our chain, I don't even remember what the Canadian version of the slogan is.
Yep. But
Pizza is a Canadian national institution.
Indeed.
And pizza, it's good when it's hot. There are pizza chains where it's like, oh, this pizza is garbage at this point, this other point. But pizza, if you get it good, you get it fresh, you eat it as is. It's good shit. Pizza does not age well. Other pizza chains or even local pizzerias, they age much better. If you're not, and it's also varied from place to place. Like I've lived in one location and the pizza is garbage. I've lived in another and it's great. Yeah.
Whenever people see me looking over here, it's because I'm actually staring at Kurt for a second while he's talking instead of staring at the chat. One thing we learned on the last stream with him was that his video kept getting a little kind of choppy whenever I hid the Zoom window behind the Streamlabs window. But if I leave it over there on that monitor, then it's, full screen on that monitor, then it works fine. So whenever I actually want to look at her for a second, I have to look over there.
So Canadian pizza, it varies from place to place to place. There are very few, usually local pizzerias that come close to New York style pizza. Chicago, you can get deep dish pretty much anywhere you go. But I will point out that Hawaiian pizza, we're gonna talk about a meme hot topic.
Are you going to say some sacrilege here?
I'm gonna say some sacrilege here.
Because pineapple does not go on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza is a Canadian invention. Hawaiian ham and pineapple? That is a Canadian invention.
That's
and you know
like
what?
saying we invented mustard gas. Like, why do you want to say you invented that thing? That's horrible.
Shut the fuck up, Greg. Hawaiian pizza is fucking amazing. Pineapple belongs on pizza, and I will die. You know what? You know what's more fucking sacrilege on pizza? Fucking anchovies and shit.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Hawaiian pizza.
Well, I should make it really clear.
I'll tell you right now. You know what I fucking ordered? I fucking ordered a Hawaiian pizza. I got whole fucking pineapple on pizza coming up to my domicile right this instant.
I am not allowed to talk about food. QG Pennyworth in the chat there is correct. You should all remember that I don't eat any vegetables or any fruits of any kind ever.
I put jalapenos on all my shit. Jalapenos, Italian hot peppers. Get me as fucking hot as it is. I will literally drink 1+ million Scoville hot sauce from the fucking bottle just because I fucking love the endorphin rush because I am a freak. So it doesn't like just put all the hot shit. Like jalapenos don't even fucking make my tongue tickle or sweat because I'm a sick motherfucker. And also talking about pineapple on pizza positively made us lose like 20 viewers.
Right? Like everyone was like, no, fuck that. We out. I mean, it could have also been my mustard gas comment. Like, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, so,
no,
my stool is fine.
Your PayPal money back. No.
Yeah, I have a lot of interesting medical reasons why vegetables and fruits taste so horrible to me, and I can't keep them down.
Your blood type.
I literally can't even keep them down. If I can somehow get it swallowed, it comes right back up. Like, they are utterly disgusting to me. My body rejects them all. Yeah, and it doesn't seem to, like, I mean, I'm perfectly fine and healthy, so, like...
Pineapple belongs on pizza, god damn it! I'm a fucking Canadian nationalist. I am... Okay, Canadian nationalists are much better than American nationalists. I'm just gonna point that out.
Nationalist is a little... I mean, what you meant is Canadian national. Right? Like, just like nationalist is like you're going off a deep end there that you might want to stay away from.
America likes to think that they are the true melting pot of the world, but let me just tell you, Canada. If you take a look at our mixture,
you about to say Canada? You were about to say
Canadian. So in Canada, you take a look at all of our metrics and like metric versus imperial and how we convey things. Very different situation. Like you could have a single conversation with a person, have metric, imperial measurements, and also half of your conversation is in fucking Quebecois French.
Right, but that's not how a melting pot works. See, that's where people misinterpret melting pot a little. Because when you have a melting pot and you put everything in it, it all melts down to the same goo. Like we're a melting pot because we force everyone into the imperial and everything else. You guys let people do like all this crazy shit.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
You're
fucking right. Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. Like, I do think one is a slightly better way to look at things. I also think we should be on the metric system. I mean, just,
Yeah, it's true. Like, just accept Celsius like the rest of the fucking civilized world. What the fuck are you doing in this Fahrenheit? We use Celsius for everything, but if you want to bake something, it's 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, no, get out of here with your fucking archaic bullshit. Jesus Christ.
We'd have to do so much work to change all the code.
No, you don't.
It's not. Yes, it's actually that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We got through 2000. We can get through these.
Kilometers per hour is much easier to read than miles per hour.
And 1,000 meters, not this random 5,000 and something. Like, all that type shit. Like, no.
Everything is nice, rounded numbers. Think of the U.S. is like 55, 48, 36. Like, what the
55
fuck?
is some bullshit.
What is this bullshit? No, fuck you. I want to drive at 120, motherfucker. Fuck you.
I mean, until my wife got me to slow down a little because we have like kids and whatnot, my average was above 100 on good days when I was driving. So like
100 kilometers or 100 miles?
Miles.
Okay, because the highest I've managed during winter, mind you, so it was pretty dicey. Was 180 kilometers per hour on a highway.
It's a good clip. That's a good clip.
Yeah.
I used to have a good car. I right now don't really have one at the moment, although the one that I do own will be back in my possession next week. But yes, I used to, back in the early 90s, I was doing a lot of fun shit, and I had a nice car, and it went fast, and it was fun.
Yeah, I am a madman, but also, when you have all-wheel drive, like in a Subaru Impreza, you feel much more confident about yourself.
Yeah. You have...
Pay me, Subaru!
You have about half an hour before your next thing. I want you to eat your food. I want you to get settled a little. I want you to get your wits about you and be ready. So I think we're going to call the stream here really soon.
Yes. I gotta piss like a motherfucker, I'll tell you right now.
I don't think we need to rate the other one because like most of the viewers show up because you do the embed, right? So like, I mean, if the other person's up, we can send them over, but I don't think they're live yet. They won't be for a while.
No, they aren't because I gotta do some prerequisite setup in tandem with them.
Yeah, so like I don't think we can raid them, but what we can do is as soon as it's ready to go, I mean, I could just literally leave this running on the end screen until then and then hit raid, but
you know what?
By then it'll send 5 people over.
No, it won't. I'll tell you right now, no, it won't. These people,
but it'll also...
They will wait.
The viewers will do this. Now, we're going to call it, and then you're going to send out the link on the Twitter, and we're putting it in the Discord, and I'll retweet it, and we'll send it to everyone, and then you'll do the embed. Everyone should join the Discord. Everyone should subscribe and all that fun stuff. This was a pretty good stream. I mean, even given that first half hour, we did 3 hours there, man. I think we told some good stories. I think it looked like everyone liked some of those old stories about all the old fun times. So maybe we'll tell a couple more next week just to kind of,
and plus, like it felt good, like just opening up. Like my childhood was a complete and utter fucking nightmare.
Same.
If you haven't read the Hacker Manifesto, as quoted in the film Hackers, like a lot of it resonates with very, very concise clarity with my own personal life situation. You can see that there is a specific archetype of person that ends up the way that we are, in essence. So, yeah. Yes, I spent 2 entire years of my life away from home, away from civilization on a remote farm in a mental health facility because I was bullied heavily in grade school and lashed out at my bullies, and they decided to arrest me for it, and that led into a whole bunch of shit.
You go
So
into
I
the
have,
system, they try and keep you in the system, and they put you in places. It's how the
yeah,
system's designed.
until they realized that they had no actual reasonable excuse to keep me within that
Yep.
system, because I was not conceding to their bullshit whatsoever. I spent 2 entire years of my life essentially doing absolutely no schoolwork whatsoever and doing whatever I could to be excluded from group activities, by bad behavior. So I did a whole lot of shit like sneaking into the staff areas and reliberating my Game Boy Color so that
Damn
I could
straight.
play more Pokemon, shit like that.
Nothing crazy about that. That is normal activity right there for a kid.
No. I was fucking 12 years old, literally like going and seeing the grounds guards thing, sneaking out of my cabin, getting into the fucking staff facility and going and stealing my fucking Game Boy until they would come in and do a nighttime check on me to see if
Yep,
I
they
was
do the
still
sweep.
in the fucking thing. They'd do the sweep.
Yep.
So yeah, like I have lived some shit.
Indeed. I
Um,
think that's one of the reasons me and you get along so well. Our childhoods were both pretty fucked up. I
yeah.
mean, there's someone in the chat there who definitely knows a lot more about just how fucked up mine was. Some of those stories maybe are for a later day, but I've got to work myself up to some of them because it's some craziness. But I mean, I will say for people to think about for the next one, if you guys actually want me to tell the story, it starts with a vehicle pulling up to a street corner and me, just as I'm about to turn 7, getting asked to get out of the vehicle, and my parent driving away after telling me that they can't keep me and my sibling, and good luck out there. And kind of goes from there. So my childhood was as fun as yours.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I don't talk about many of those stories too much, but if you guys want to hear some of that, I think I could work myself up to some of it. Sometimes it's good to get some of that stuff out, but we'll see. Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh.
so a lot of our types, especially the very anti-system types who kind of work at being anti-system, like put in time, like really hard time in it, seem to have had childhoods that make a lot of people cringe as to, like, I'm glad I didn't go through that, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a reason why we have our viewpoints.
yeah, right?
Um,
At a young age, the entire system kind of failed us.
yeah.
So maybe fuck the system kind of gets ingrained at an early age.
Yes.
But on a happy note, I would like to leave everyone with happy Punch a Nazi Day. As
Woo!
every day is Punch a Nazi Day in this world.
Brother got
Um,
shot by a clown. Holy fucking shit.
so you need to get prepared. You need to get your food in you. You need to use the restroom, get some
I
more
yeah.
water, all that fun stuff.
Leave the stream live so we can raid this shit.
Don't move towards a Pim Tool beanie rut. I wear this beanie all the damn time. I was wearing beanies before that fool, but like whatever. I just have the problem of really hating the cold and living in a super cold area right now. Like, damn it. But yes, anyways, everybody, this has been awesome. This has been 3 hours of fun. I've really enjoyed this. Kurt now has food on the way, and for chat to understand just how like strong me and his relationship is, I'm gonna make sure his ass actually gets food in that fridge and everything else. So I'm gonna reach back out again. Not tonight because he's gonna be doing things, but tomorrow morning I'm gonna reach out and say, hey, what the, so be prepared for me to give you shit tomorrow. All right.
All right.
All right, everyone. We're gonna say goodnight here, and anyone wants to leave us with some follows and subs, that would be awesome. But I think I got more than enough of those tonight. That was an amazing night. Thanks, everyone.
It really was.
All right. Good night.
Follow and subscribe.